again, and welcome to Jeffco Stadium here on a wonderful October night for high school football. I'm Eric Christensen along with Matt Monahan. The Arvada West Wildcats getting set to take on the Stanley Lake Gators. And I'll tell you what, Matt, driving in today, saw the sun setting over the mountains, an orange tint in the clouds, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is a pretty good night for high school football.
Beautiful October night. I didn't even bring a jacket tonight. It's real warm out there. Players in short sleeves, and field conditions perfect for tonight's matchup.
Couldn't ask for a better night, and I'll tell you what, both these teams served with a little bit of an emotional lift tonight. Now, Arvada West, they've lost 3 in a row. You might be saying, Eric, what are you talking about? You're crazy. They've got to be down. We look out at midfield right there. You see number 2 on his back. That is Mike Duran making his first appearance in a uniform since getting injured in the Mullen game.
Yeah, I was at that Mullen game, injured in the first quarter. Really a sad start to Mike Duran's season. He's a senior, one of the best players in the state, goes down early in that game. This is really his first action of the year here, so look for Arvada West to get a big lift from him after an otherwise disappointing season.
It'll be interesting to see how much action he gets tonight. I would expect it wouldn't be full-time duty, because if he was that healthy, I would have thought we would have seen him last week, considering last week against Columbine, everyone considered a must-win for their playoff hopes.
Sure. Also, Stanley Lake, you just mentioned to me, they get back their kid Mike Raines, 34, starting running back. He was injured early on in the season, too. His coach, Jim Bratton, calls him one of the 3 or 4 best players in the entire state. And just an amazing story. I don't know if you want to relate that a little bit better than I could, Eric.
Well, I talked to Coach Bratton this morning. Coach Bratton, a long-time mainstay here in Colorado State prep football as a coach, but Raines suffered from compartment syndrome. They said when he got injured, if they wouldn't have gotten him to the hospital that night, may have lost his leg, could have died. So a wonderful story. The national anthem is fired up. Let's shut our traps and take a listen. Welcome back. Eric Christensen and Matt Monahan with you as the Arvada West Wildcats try to stop a 3-game slide against the perennial Jeffco doormat, Stanley Lake Gators. There you see Rob Barella's, Mike During, Ryan Palmer, Dave Wyatt running through the banners as the Arvada West Wildcats try to get off the schneid. And Matt, I would imagine one of Dave Logan's top tasks this week is probably trying to keep the heads up of these young players, seeing how this really might be the first year in quite a while that these guys aren't going to be in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely crushing defeat last week to Columbine. After the game, several players were kneeling down near midfield. You could tell they are absolutely heartbroken and dejected over the loss. That loss last week to Columbine might have ended their season's hopes for a playoff spot. But if you're Dave Logan, I think you just got to keep telling your guys there's still that even slimmest of hopes out there, possibly. Got to go out and try to win every game. Stanley Lake, you mentioned, a perennial doormat. Not this year. They're 2-2 in league, and they've got a winning record. And a win for them here could go a long way towards maybe getting themselves a wild card spot in the Jeffco play, or the 5A playoffs, I should say.
You know, it's an interesting matchup tonight between the two coaches. Dave Logan's story's been told many times. I'm sure I don't need to relay to most people watching and listening that, Colorado prep star, drafted in 3 or 4 different sports, starred at Colorado, went on to play in the NFL with Cleveland and Denver. Well, Jim Bratton has had a similar story. Grew up in the state of Colorado, started at the prep level, went on to quarterback the CU Buffs to an Orange Bowl victory in the late 60s. Actually, he was the MVP of that Orange Bowl. I was talking to Jim about that. He's like, hey, listen, I leave all the headlines to Dave. Dave's the big guy in this town. I just try to be the big guy on my own block. I found that fairly amusing, as the two teams are somewhat confused which way they're going to go. Arvada West is set to receive the kickoff as Stanley Lake is going to do the duties. And if you purchased the tape last week and listened to Matt and I, you know that we were infatuated with the place kicker for Columbine. Well, tonight, Arvada West goes up against another pretty good place kicker. This kid's name is Paul Lett Brown. He's a big kid, 6'1", 210. Not a football player, a soccer player. But I talked to Jim Brad, and he said this kid's got a great leg. He's kicked 6 field goals, I believe as long as 45 yards. He's a transfer from Texas. We talked about what a great weapon a good kicker at the high school level could be.
Absolutely, and right here we're going to see if he can put one in the end zone and force Arvada West to start in their own 20-yard line.
Matt Sims and Josh Ranson set to return this kick. A short, high kick. Sims fields it at about the 7. He brings it out across the 20, has some running room, and will be stopped at about the 27-yard line, so a kickoff return of 20 yards for Matt Sims.
Kickoff return by number 28.
Quickly run down the Arvada West offense. David Wyatt, the senior quarterback, number 12, in there again. Last week, 24 of 37, two picks, 387 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zach Ewey, the fullback, Mike Orr, the running back. Look for Mike Orr to come out and try to have a big game. He's been silent the last couple of weeks.
And Orr is in the backfield with David Wyatt. Last week, Arvada West opened up in a no-huddle shotgun look, and they are going to do that again today. Last week, it served Dave Wyatt well, as Matt just mentioned, close to 400 yards passing through for 2 touchdowns. Wyatt back to pass, looks to his left, and that is going to be short, intended for Caleb Atchison, running a little slant, but again, that pass was short.
Yeah, it looks like they're going back to that no-huddle style you mentioned, Eric. Worked for them last week against Columbine.
Second down and 10.
Second down and 10 for Arvada West. We have 2 receivers left and 2 right. Ranson in the slot. Keep your eye on him. He had a huge week last week. Ranson, 12 catches for over 200 yards last week against Columbine. Again, Wyatt back to pass. Throws this time to Atchison. Atchison gets drilled and drops it, and he is a little slow getting up, as is the Stanley Lake defender.
Pass by number 12.
Yeah, tough pass there by Dave Wyatt. Atchison has to sort of reach out when you. That's sort of every receiver's nightmare. When you go across the middle, you have to extend your body to try to make a catch. You leave yourself open to get hit there, and that time he was crunched by a couple of Stanley Lake Gators. Trying to get the number on the one that's down right now. Looks like it's number 11, Brandon Bauman, 6'1", 170-pound senior. He's a tough kid. Looks like he wants to stay in the game, but they're going to pull him off to the sidelines.
Got his bell rung. He'll take a little bit of a breather. We do expect him back, however. Eric Montoya, the fullback on the Stanley Lake team, also starting on defense for the Gators. He was not expected to start. He's going to see duty both ways, as many of the Stanley Lake Gators will. Third down and 10 for the Wildcats. Wyatt in the shotgun. Barking out the signals, moves Orr from his left to his right. There's a snap. It's pretty good when he looks towards the middle of the field. Throws, and that passes just over the outstretched arms of Matt Sims. And 3 plays and out for the Wildcats, and if you're the Gators, that's got to be quite a confidence builder.
That absolutely does, and I'll tell you why, because you're not allowing Dave Wyatt to make some early completions, and that's been one of the things that's plagued him all year long. If Dave Wyatt can connect early, he's usually effective in the game. If he can't, then Arvada West offense seems to be stifled somewhat.
Number 2, Darren.
Back to receive this punt for the Stanley Lake Gators is Keith Cavell. He does own a 55-yard punt return earlier this year. Cavell makes a fair catch, calls for it, and catches it at the 36. A great punt by Mike Duran, as that thing was way up in the air. Good coverage, no return on the punt, and the Stanley Lake Gators will start at their own 36-yard line. Punt of 37 yards, however, no return on the punt. You can live with the net average of that.
Absolutely. Quickly, the Stanley Lake offense, number 6, Marcus Jamsey, the quarterback, 5'8" short, 180 pounds, a senior. And
in Stanley Lake, they're going to use a full house backfield. They're going to run a lot of options. This team doesn't put the ball in the air much, and there's a handoff to the fullback. He is crunched immediately. I believe Rob Morellas was in there with a host.
Handoff taken by
of Arvada West Wildcats.
Yeah, Stanley Lake, one of those teams in Jeffco that likes to run the ball. They'll be giving it to Keith Cavill, Eric Montoya, and Brian Burnham quite often tonight.
A number of new starters tonight for the Arvada West Wildcats. We'll get those gentlemen to you here in a minute. There's another handoff, and again, Rob Morales all over the play, creating havoc. The Arvada West Wildcat run defense, at least here early on, looking fairly stellar.
Yeah, obviously the fire is still under Rob Morales as he has come out here to play early on.
He had a heck of a game last week, too. We called his name a bunch.
Right, absolutely. He's a great player, and I think he just likes to play football more than anything, I think.
3rd down and 12 for the Gators. So far, they've run 2 plays. They've lost 2 yards. Jamsey under center. Rolling to his right, pitches it, and there is going to be another huge loss. John Flora on the tackle. A loss of 2 more yards, and the Arvada West Wildcat defense dominating the first time they touched the field tonight.
Yeah, absolutely getting incredible push off the line of scrimmage there in the backfield just about before the running backs even have a chance to get the ball in their hands. So Stanley Lake is going to have to try something else.
A couple of the gentlemen also seeing quite a bit of action tonight for the Arvada West Wildcats. Bo Gertz, 6'1", 180-pound sophomore. He got the start tonight on the defense, as did Joe LeBeau, a 5'10", 200-pound junior. Caleb Atchison fields this punt. He is tackled immediately in on the tackle, number 27 for the Stanley Lake Gators, and that is Sean Tallman, the team's top defensive back.
Stop made by number 27.
So both punt teams been successful in not allowing either squad to have any type of run back at all. And let's see if this great defensive stand by Arvada West will be able to spring something out of David Wyatt and the Arvada West Wildcat offense.
1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. We got 3 receivers to the right. You can't see the third at the top of your screen. Trust me, he is there. 1 to the left. There's a handoff up the middle, and Mike Orr goes for nothing as the Gator defense answers.
Yeah, Gator defense strong up front. Mickey Richter, Nick Cabral, Don Wilcox, and Ole Mayung Monley.
Ole Mayung Monley, that is correct.
Ole Mayung Monley.
I didn't quite forewarn you about that, did I?
No, you didn't, but the phonetics was pretty good.
Thank you. 2nd down and call it 9 for the Wildcats. Orr picks up a yard on his first carry. Only 22 yards last week for Mike Orr. I'm sure that's a concern of Coach Logan's, getting that running game going. Wyatt tries to elude the pressure, escapes, and has a little bit of running room. Out across the 40, and he steps out of bounds at close to midfield. Someone gets their clock cleaned. I think Mike Duran threw a huge block. Nonetheless, Dave Wyatt picks up a 1st down. There are a host of flags,
yeah,
though.
there's about 6 of them on the field here. And I think there's actually going to be 2 separate penalties called here because one came early and one came as Wyatt was
It looked
going out
like
of
it might have
bounds.
been a late hit on Wyatt as he went out of bounds. We're going to get the infamous offsetting penalties.
I think there was something as Wyatt was running upfield. There's something behind him. Maybe
Like
an
a
illegal
clip or
block
something?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, give Dave Wyatt some credit. He showed a little bit of agility and some nimbleness on his feet in the backfield there. He eluded a number of would-be tacklers. See what the referee calls. We've got illegal procedure downfield and a clip. So double duty penalties on the Wildcats. Let's see where this sets them back.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 infractions.
Literally, the flag, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, maybe there towards the right corner. I mean, the field was literally littered with flags.
Yeah.
Receiver downfield, Arvada West.
And so Stanley Lake is going to take the clipping penalty. They decline the illegal procedure penalty, and that will be a 15-yard loss, and it's the first penalty of the night for the Wildcats, and that's something they've struggled with this year as well. They have committed a number of costly penalties.
A number of penalties, really, that have come at inopportune times, and I got to say, have probably taken some points away from them in all likelihood.
2nd down and 15. We've got Atchison and Ranson split left. Sims and Duran split left. Atchison and Ranson split right. So Mike Duran lining up at the top of your screen. Wyatt drops back to pass, looks down the middle, has Ranson hit immediately, but he picks up about 16 yards.
Yeah, Josh Ranson, very sure hands, and Dave Wyatt put it on the mark that time.
Stop made by number 11.
Brandon Bauman in on the tackle. That was the gentleman who made the hit earlier on Atchison, went off. We did expect to see him back. He's back out on the field for the Gators. So brings up third down. We're going to call it 8 yards
Third down,
for the Wildcats.
8.
David Wyatt barking the signals to his offensive teammates. Takes a snap, looks to his left, throws over the head of Sims. Duran makes the catch, breaks the tackle. We've seen a lot of that over the last couple of years and picks up a first down.
Yeah, and a cheer goes up from the crowd as they're happy to see Mike Duran back in action.
Out of bounds at the 50
Pickup
yard line.
of right about 15 yards from Mr. Duran.
Arvada West.
Good job there getting that first down. Dave Wyatt, a couple of nice passes early on.
Tell you what, Duran looked good on that catch and run.
Oh, yeah. Didn't look like he was. Some players, when they come back from an injury, have a tendency to hide their injury, hide their exposed area, but not Mike Duran.
Hard to hide a broken collarbone. First and 10 for the Wildcats. That's Sims in motion. From left to right, a little option off the shotgun. A pitch to Orr. He fumbles it, and the ball is picked up by the Gators. The fumble recovery by Brian Zimmerman, a 5'8". Get this. I wonder if this was a misprint. 5'8", 150-pound linebacker.
Yeah.
That's awful small for a
But
linebacker.
he didn't have to do a lot of work that time, Eric, because the pitch
Fumble
fell on the ground and literally bounced right up into his stomach. All he had to do was just let it hit him, and he comes up with the fumble recovery.
First and 10, Stanley Lake.
7:54 remaining here in the first quarter. We are knotted at zeros. The second offensive possession for Jim Braden's Stanley Lake Gators. And it is in Arvada West territory. Jamsey hands it off. Tackled immediately. Joe Knight in on the play as Keith Cavell picks up about a yard. 4 carries, -3 yards for Cavell, a 5'11", 180-pound senior for the Gators.
Yeah, that's about his best run he's seen all night so far. Pick up about 6 inches there. As mentioned, Cavell is small, and that Arvada West defense is big and fast.
You see number 71 there along the defensive line for Arvada West. Don't get confused. That is Jaden McNeely. Normally number 8 has been switched to number 71 tonight. Little drop back pass by Marcus Jamsey. Throws to his right looking for his tight end. Has him down across the 10. Tackled at the 5. On the catch, Mike Jones, a big 6'3", 200-pound senior. And you know what? It looked like he got a little push off to get the separation he needed to catch that football.
Yeah, Adam Campbell was with him step for step, and as you mentioned, kind of caused a little bit of separation there. If you're a receiver and you can get away with it, go ahead and do it. Jones did a nice job of it there. And you mentioned Stanley Lake does not put the ball up in the air that often, but they did that time, and it paid off big time for him.
Jamsey has the ability to make some big plays, however, with the arm. He's had a number of big games this year, 4 of 11, 151 yards against Arvada. There's a handoff up the gut by the Gators. Short gain on the play as Eric Montoya is stopped for about a yard gain. That's the first carry of the night for Montoya. He leads the Gators in rushing, 93 carries, 399 yards, good for a 4.1 yard average.
This Stanley Lake offense, similar to the one we saw last week in Columbine, they run the ball quite a bit, but occasionally they will put the ball in the air. And that did seem to cause some problems for the Arvada West defense.
Second and goal from the 5. Again, the Gators with 3 backs in the backfield. Mike Raines in there for Stanley Lake. Fake the handoff to Raines. Jamsey looks to his left, has a man open in the back of the end zone. And as you see, the pass is dropped. Dropping that pass for the Gators, number 89, Devin Simon, 6'4", 205-pound senior.
Boy, that's one you got to catch. Nobody near him, and maybe that was just a case if he realized nobody was near him and got a little nervous.
Jim Braden talked about this being his first year at Stanley Lake. Stanley Lake, a perennial doormat, trying to overcome 11 years of indifference regarding the football team, and those are the kind of plays you need to make if you want to become one of the nation's elite or one of the league's elite. Mike Raines barrels his way close to the goal line. He apparently will be stopped short, and this is going to present an interesting 4th down and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
Number 34, Raines.
First carry for Mike Raines since that injury goes for 4 yards, and looks like the Gators are going to go for it. Jim Braden rolling the dice here midway through the first quarter. 5:39 left here in the first quarter. Jamsey under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Raines. Raines is going to be hit, stopped. He fights forward and is going to be short. In on the tackle, Ryan Palmer, the all-everything middle linebacker for the Wildcats.
Big stop there by Arvada West. It looked like they were surely going to give up 7 points on that pass to a wide-open tight end, and he dropped it. They end up stopping the Gators and not giving them anything. Big gamble by Stanley Lake because they hadn't ran the ball all night. They've lost yardage all night. You know, that's a tough call.
Tell you what, you saw Prep All-American on Prep All-American there, Mike Raines. We talked about him in the pregame, and of course we don't really need to talk much more about Ryan Palmer. He's one of the state's top middle linebackers. Those two collided. That time Palmer got the better of it. So Arvada West starts deep in its own territory. Wyatt under center, hands it off to Iwi. He's nailed immediately for a minimal loss. Eric Geist in on the tackle, the middle linebacker for the Gators, but we have flags once again on the play. And we've got offsides on Stanley Lake, so that's going to help bail Arvada West out of a little hole.
Yeah, absolutely, because Zach Iwi didn't have much more room to lose there on that handoff. Gives him a little bit of breathing room now, takes the ball just outside the 5-yard line.
Now let's see if Arvada West goes back to the shotgun formation. Dave Wyatt is going to go up under center. First down and 5 for the Wildcats. Ball outside their own 5-yard line. Wyatt with the pitch. Coming around the right side, out across the 10, breaking a tackle. Fumbles the ball out of bounds, out to the 12-yard line. Is number 22, Brandon Kyle.
Number 22, Kyle.
Haven't seen a lot of Brandon Kyle this year, but perhaps Dave Logan looking to get some other players some action here.
Maybe, and I don't want to point the finger at Mike Orr, but maybe trying to just get a different look and see if he can get a little productivity from the tailback position. Again, last week Mike Orr, 11 carries, 22 yards, just an unproductive night for the tailback, and so maybe Dave experimenting with some of his younger players. First down and 10, ball at the 12-yard line. Wyatt again under center. There's the pitch to Kyle again, going around the left side. Kyle tucks it under and is tackled for what we will call no gain. In on the tackle, Eric Geist again, along with number 60, Nick Cabral.
Number 22, Kyle, the ball carrier.
So
Stop made by number 27.
it'll be about second down, and I'll call it about 10.
Second down and
Kyle,
10.
2 carries, 7 yards tonight, or 2 carries, -2 yards. Of course, that includes the fumble on the option play just moments ago. Be nice to see if this Arvada West offense can take advantage of that nice defensive stand. I mean, it's probably a little bit much to ask your team to go 99 yards, but maybe they could turn the field position around here and try to put the first points up on the board in this football game. 4:48 remaining here in the first quarter.
I don't think it is too much, real. I mean, to ask them to go 98 or 99 yards or whatever it is, that's something that I think would be a big boost for your offense. And, I think you've got the weapons. I think you've already proven tonight that you're able to drop back and make some short, quick passes to your good receivers, pick up yardage that way. And I think that they could probably do that. Maybe a big 4 or 5 minute drive here would really put the stamp on this game early on.
Stanley Lake's been somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde team, as you see a decent crowd out here in the stands tonight at Jeffco Stadium for the Arvada West Stanley Lake matchup. But, I mean, against Pomona, Stanley Lake held the Panthers to only 177 total yards, but against Chatfield, they gave up 246 yards rushing. This is a team that seems to come to play one night and maybe leaves their best on the couch another night. Wyatt, play action fake, looks deep down the left side of the field, has a man. Good defense there by number 27, Sean Tallman. Little bump along the left side, but he turned his head. You're not going to get flagged if you're looking at the football.
That's not a flag, is that? Look down at just on the other side of the About the 47-yard line.
I just think that's a piece of, or something.
Oh, well, it is a flag.
You know what? You're right. It is a flag.
Stanley Lake.
And it's going to be pass interference on the Gators. Good eyes.
I thought that the Stanley Lake
Wow.
defensive back had turned his head and sort of just inadvertently ran into Atchison there.
Stanley moves the ball to
In fact, I thought he played good defensively, but obviously officials see it a different way.
First and 10, Arvada West.
And that's going to be how much of a penalty is that in the high school game?
Well, yeah, it's not at the
15
spot.
yards?
Yeah, I think it's 15,
15 yards.
It's not at the spot.
Second penalty of the night for the Gators gives Arvada West its third first down of the evening. Wyatt under center, fakes the handoff, runs the option, has some room, pitches to Kyle. Kyle out across the 30, upended by Keith Cavell, but not until Kyle picks up about 5 on the play.
That time the option worked well for Arvada West. Dave Wyatt sort of looks a little funny when he pitches the ball there.
He runs well with it down
Yeah.
the line of scrimmage.
Down and 4.
Again, going with the hurry-up offense here.
Second down. That's actually a gain of 6 for Mr. Kyle. He's got 3 carries for 13 yards, so it's second down and 4. Again, Arvada West changing up its offense, running out of the I after the first 2 possessions, going predominantly from the shotgun. Wyatt under center, fakes a handoff to Huey again, throws, and that pass is going to be short, intended for number 86, and his number is not on our roster.
One of those new players that
I'm going to guess it's either Mike Beer or Joe Clark. See if I can pull out the binoculars and see if he's still out there. Wyatt 2 of 6 tonight for 31 yards. It's Danny Schwab is number 86.
number 93 on our
93 on our roster. There's a pitch to Kyle, has a block. Oh, breaks a tackle, breaks another one, but can't break a host of others. And is there a fumble on the play? Or are they just fired up because they kept him from a first down?
I think that there was a fumble, to be honest with you, because they seemed to jump up and down before the play had even really ended.
You know, this is a big game tonight for Stanley Lake. I would say talent-wise you give the edge to Arvada West, but intangibles, emotion, intensity, I think it's got to go to the Gators. This is the first time in quite a while that they've had a winning record and a decent season. And this is a game that if they win, they can look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what, we belong in the Jeffco League. They haven't been able to say that the past few years, and that's what Jim Bratton's trying to instill into this Gator football team. And there was a fumble on the play as Stanley Lake has the ball deep once again in Arvada West territory. Jamsey eludes one tackler, runs, and finally gets out of bounds at the 30, a pickup of 3 for Marcus Janzi. However, he ran about 30 yards to pick up those 3 yards.
Yeah, got away from a pretty good tackle attempt by John Flora and ended up taking, which looked like a big loss, for about a gain of 3.
3:32 remaining here in the first half. Arvada West already with 2 turnovers tonight. Stanley Lake could not capitalize on the first one, getting stopped at the Arvada West 1 on 4th down, trying to convert here. 2nd down and 7 for the Gators. And there's a handoff up the gut to Eric Montoya. He will be stopped for no gain. Ryan Palmer, Luke Vanola, Joe Knight, all in on the tackle. Montoya 2 carries for 1 yard. So far, the Arvada West run defense has been stellar tonight. Last week, they gave up 323 yards rushing to Columbine, 208 in the second half. Tonight, there hasn't been much room to run for the Gators.
Absolutely not.
Back to pass, Jamsey looks across the middle. That pass is incomplete. Shane Marsh and Drew Cisneros there on the coverage. The intended target,
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. 1 of 3 tonight for Jamsey. Good for 42 yards, and this brings up 4th down, and I think we're going to see the aforementioned Paulette Brown. He's going to try a 47-yard field goal, and this guy's a lefty. I don't know why that matters, but don't see very many left
You don't?
footed kickers.
This
About
would
said left-handed
This
kickers.
would be his longest.
Kick is up. It's long enough, and the kick's good.
Wow.
So for the second consecutive week, Arvada West gets bit by a pretty good field goal kicker.
Wow. That's the longest of Paul Lett Brown's season, 47 yards. Didn't have a lot of extra distance on it, but all he needed was what he had. And it goes through the uprights, so a 3-0 early lead for Stanley Lake. And it just seems like they're going to need a lot of points tonight because I feel like Arvada West offense has proven they can move the ball. They just got to kind of get over that.
Got to quit turning it over.
Exactly. Because they could have 2 touchdowns tonight already.
Yeah, this is one of those instances where Stanley Lake, when this first quarter ends, if it ends like it is right now, they got to think to themselves, you know what? We really should be leading 10-0 instead of 3-0.
Right.
They've let a few opportunities slip by, but credit the Arvada West defense. I mean, other than that 42-yard pass earlier from Jamsey to Jones, Stanley Lake's got in nothing offensively. Back to receive the kick for the Wildcats, Matt Sims and Brandon Kyle. Kyle on the left, Sims on the right. You see Paulette Jones getting ready to kick this thing off. I don't know why I didn't realize he was left-footed when he kicked it off to begin with. They got the attention span of about a third grader. Sims receives it at the 8, tries to follow his blockers, has some rooms to run, breaks a tackle out across 30, and hog-tied at the 32-yard line.
Pretty good return there by Matt Sims. He had one.
On the tackle, Paulette Brown, the kicker.
He can do it well. He's big enough. No doubt about that. 200 pounds.
Well, I asked Coach Bradden, I said, you know, he's a big kid. You thought about getting him out there other than just kicking? He's like, oh, he's not a football player. And I went, oh, okay. I'm not going to get into that. Said he's a soccer player. So, first down and 10 for the Wildcats, ball at the 33-yard line. Wyatt back in the shotgun, joined by Sims this time in the backfield. 3 receivers to his left. Sims comes out of the backfield, and he's wide open, catching the ball, running across midfield, and pushed out of bounds. There's a flag, and there is going to be a clip, and the flag will be thrown on Lucas Wathier, a 5'6", 125-pound junior. I believe they got him with a clip.
Yeah, it was a illegal block in the back, and really it was a questionable call to me in the first place. Wathier, it's one of those in-between calls where he's maybe sort of facing the opposite direction, and I don't know. I don't agree with that at all, but
Reception was by number 28.
it's going to back the ball up and negate a great reception and run by Matt Sims.
So that was a pickup of a 15-yard penalty. The pass completion was good for 14 yards.
So it goes is what, a net of a loss of 1?
Yeah. 2 penalties for 30 yards. It's going to bring up first down and 9 yards for the Wildcats. So they actually pick up a yard on the play. I'm not sure how that's possible. Wyatt in the shotgun, fakes a handoff to Sims, rolls to his left, throws, and has Ranson, his second catch of the night. Ranson breaks the tackle and is brought down deep in Gator territory, the 42-yard line.
Great misdirection there. The whole defensive line moved to the left thinking that Matt Sims had the ball in the handoff. He didn't. Dave Wyatt rolled to his left and found Josh Ranson, who was very hard to keep up with. He's just got great speed, wide open, big pickup.
4 of 8 for Wyatt tonight, 71 yards. First and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball at the Stanley Lake 42-yard line. Wyatt and Sims in the backfield. Wyatt drops back, looks, avoids some pressure, rolls to his right. He's going to tuck it under and run, and he's not going to get much as he's run out of bounds. However, he picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
And if he had looked to his left, if he had turned his head to his left, he would have seen Matt Sims on an island by himself with nobody around him for about 10 yards, and he could have been running. And he's telling him that right now. He's saying, hey, I was open.
Brian Zimmerman in on the tackle for the Gators, number 5. He's the man who picked up the fumble earlier on in the first quarter. Speaking of the first quarter, only a $1:35 remaining. Stanley Lake leads Arvada West 3-0. Second down and call it 7 for the Wildcats. That's Duran in motion from right to left. There's the pass to Duran. He's got some blocking. They're sealed off. He makes a move and is brought down in a nice open field tackle by Cavill, but not until Duran picks up about 10 on the play. Call it 11.
Yeah, that's a good idea for Arvada West. They just sort of threw the ball out there in the flat for Mike Duran's screen pass, and when he gets an open field, it's tough to bring him down, and that time Stanley Lake couldn't even get a hand on him until he picked up 10 yards.
So that's the kind of play Duran usually takes to the house, because he got 3 great blocks from his receivers, and basically it was Duran on Cavill, but Cavill made a very important open field tackle. First down and 10 for the Wildcats. Sims in the backfield, joining Wyatt. Duran and Wathier split left. That's Duran in motion. Mike Duran with 2 catches for 26 yards tonight. Wyatt back to pass, looks to his right, gets it to Duran. Duran takes it down close to the 20, and again another nice open field tackle by Braden Forsyth. Not until Stanley Lake picks up 5. 3 catches, 31 yards tonight for Mike Duran in his return from a broken collarbone injury that sidelined him for a good 5-6 weeks?
At least.
Shannon Sharp's got a broken collarbone. They expect him out 9 to 10 weeks. Can you say Duran's tougher than Sharp? Well, I'll say that here, but maybe not to Shannon's face. Might drop a big onion on me or something. Wyatt with the handoff to Sims out of the shotgun formation. Sims going to be brought down at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of about 3, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. First carry on the night for Sims.
And it'll probably be the last play of the first quarter as we near the final 15 seconds.
The clock is ticking down. However, Arvada West lined up in the shotgun formation, waiting to see if they're going to run a play. Clock at 2-1, and they will not. And after the end of the first quarter, the Wildcats trail the Gators 3-0. However, Arvada West is on the move. We'll take a timeout on the Arvada West Wildcat Network.
Gators 3, Arvada West Wildcats 0.
Welcome back to Jeffco Stadium. Arvada West trailing the Gators 3-0. However, the Wildcats on the move with the ball at Stanley Lake's 20 in a key 3rd and short situation. However, we say it time and time again, you expect Dave to have 2 downs to make this first down. He is not shy about going for it.
Absolutely. This is 4-down territory probably.
Not if you have a kicker like Paulette Brown, though, huh?
But their kicker, Josh Valenta, I've watched him over the season. I think he's a pretty decent kicker. He had a 41-yarder earlier this year. So he's got a little leg behind him.
3rd down and short. Wyatt and Sims in the backfield. Wyatt fakes a handoff to Sims, rolls to his left, throws, and the pass is incomplete. Duran could not come up with the catch. 4th down and 2, and we've got an injured Gator on the field. Actually, he bounces up. Looks like he might have hurt his tailbone, and the injured Gator was Keith Cavill.
Yep, Dave White still on the field as we expected. Logan going for it here on 4th down.
6 of 11 tonight for Wyatt for 87 yards, 3rd and short. Got Wyatt and Sims in the backfield. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Now a gutsy call here would be throw into the end zone. Don't think that's going to happen.
No, look for Josh Ranson or Caleb Atchison, I think.
Little option to the left side. Wyatt with the pitch to Sims. Sims hog-tied and brought down. Stopped short of the first down. Actually a loss of 7. And the aforementioned Keith Cavill in on the tackle.
Stop made by number 4,
Boy, that's a risky call there on 4th down because it's a option where you basically give the ball to your runner 5 yards in the backfield and expect him to get 7 or 8 there. That time, Stanley Lake just strung it out and basically rode him all the way to the sideline, forcing him for a big loss.
Arvada West with 6 first downs here in the first half. Stanley Lake only with 1. However, Gators have the lead on the scoreboard 3-0. 11:50 remaining here in the second quarter. Gators have it at their own 26-yard line. And again, we've mentioned this before, Stanley Lake has really gotten nothing going with their offense. Jamsey under center. He hands it off to Raines. Raines hit immediately by Joe Knight, and that's going to be another loss on the play for the Gators.
Gators fooling nobody with that run. Just seems that Arvada West is waiting for it every single time Stanley Lake snaps the football.
Mike Raines, 3 carries, 3 yards. Tell you what, when you look at the offensive production tonight from the Stanley Lake ground game, they've got 4 yards on the ground, but they've got about 10 carries. 2nd and 11. Jamsey fakes a handoff. Pressured by Morellas. Fumbles it. The ball is kicked. Cavell falls on it at his own 5, and that's going to be a loss of 20 yards on the play.
Well, that certainly won't help the rushing stats tonight for Stanley Lake.
5 carries, negative 23 yards for Mr. Cavell.
They might not ever get back into the black.
Tell you what, this sets up good for the Arvada West defense because they're going to get this football in pretty good field position, barring they hold here. I think that's safe to say. We've got a 3rd down and about 31 upcoming for the Gators. Something tells me they'll probably keep this on the ground. 3rd and 31. Jamsey throws to his left, has foresight. He brings it across a 15, tackled at about the 21-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 16 yards, well short of the 1st down, but it will help them with field position on the punt.
Absolutely. That time the defensive back for Arvada West, I believe it was Adam Campbell, just sort of laid off the receiver, let him make the catch out there for about a 5-yard gain, and then ran him out of bounds before he was able to get the 1st down.
You'll give up a 16-yard gain in that situation. You got Ranson and Atchison back to receive the punt, and 2 guys with game-breaking speed, and you're going to get this ball, I'm guessing, around midfield when this play is done. Punter for the Gators, Keith Cavell, he leads the Jeffco League in punting. It's a short kick. It's high. It's out of bounds, and they're going to have it better than at midfield. This is going to this drive will probably start around the Stanley Lake 40, and that's exactly where it's going to start.
Punt is out of bounds at the Stanley Lake 41-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
That's only about a 20-yard punt for Cavell.
Yeah, not one of Cavill's better efforts, and this is going to set up real nicely for Arvada West now, who have been able to move the ball fairly consistently with the pass all night long.
Wyatt, 6 of 11 for 87 yards. We're in the 2nd quarter, 10-15 remaining, 3-0 Stanley Lake with the lead. Wyatt and Sims in the backfield, or actually Wyatt and Kyle in the backfield. Sims and Duran split right, Atchison and Ranson split left. Wyatt back to pass, here comes a blitz, a little screen to Kyle. Kyle tackled on the play, not until he picks up 5. We have flags, it's probably a face mask in on the tackle, Keith Cavell.
Yeah, Kyle sort of went down sort of funny, looked like somebody yanked at his cage, and probably had an extra 10 yards on this one.
Good play call there by the Wildcats. The blitz was on. They threw a screen over it. A great tackle by Cavell. However, it's going to be a face masking penalty. Good for 5 yards. It's going to be close to a 1st down.
31-yard line.
3 penalties tonight for the Gators. Good for 25 yards. It indeed is a first down, and that's a 3rd 1st down. Arvada West has gained through a Stanley Lake penalty.
31, being 1st and 10, Arvada West.
Don't want to give the Wildcats help like that. 1st and 10, ball sitting outside the Stanley Lake 30 on the 31. Wyatt looking to his left, now to his right, throws to Atchison. He makes a catch, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and going to be close to a 1st down. Actually, I think he got it as he's pushed out of bounds at 21.
Yeah, the ref took a nosedive there, it looked like.
Stopped by number 45.
Anyway, Atchison, I thought I saw that. Anyway, Atchison, yeah, good work.
Arvada West.
Caught the ball for about a gain of 7 and then took about 3 good hits.
Ball at the
Shook them all off.
Stanley Lake 20-yard line.
The yardage past the sticks.
Wyatt 8 completions tonight to 5 different receivers. 1st and 10 from the 20. Kyle in motion out of the backfield. So Wyatt's back there alone. Looks to his left, throws, has Ranson. That will be a short gain.
Pass by
About
number 12
4 on
West,
the play.
completes number 4 Ransom. Brought down by
And
number
I'm not
45
sure why Mike
Phelps.
Moore isn't in the game. I don't know if it's just something performance-wise.
Well, I see Orr standing here at
Well,
about
I
the
see-
41-yard
Second
line.
down
Doesn't
and
appear to be
5.
injured. Second down and 6 for the Wildcats. Again, Kyle in motion. Wyatt back to pass. Eludes some pressure. Throws to his right. Probably interference there. The catch is made anyway. I believe that's Atchison.
Still a great catch.
Pass by number
It
12
is, and that's going to be
Wyatt,
close
completes
to a
number
first
84
down.
Atchison.
Because he had a guy in his back when that ball got to him.
Stop made by number 27
2 receptions
Bauman.
tonight for Caleb. Good for 17
Third down.
yards. It's going to be short of a
1.
first down by probably about a half yard or so. So it brings up 3rd and short, and A. West stays in the shotgun formation. Wyatt fakes a handoff to Sims, has some room to run on the right. He's going to pick up the first down, and he falls down at about the 6-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 5. Got a good block out there by Josh Ransom.
Good decision there by Wyatt because he had a man open in the end zone.
Wyatt, ball carrier.
And the defender was sort of waiting for Wyatt to throw it, almost sort of baiting him,
Plays good for
hoping that
first
he would.
down.
And Wyatt noticed that and just kept the ball
Ball at
under his
the
arm.
6-yard line.
About 6.
First and goal.
Battle
Arvada
West is such a tough team
Timeout.
to defend.
Stanley
And just
Lake.
think of all the different formations and plays you've seen out of those formations tonight. I mean, Wyatt's already connected
Right.
with 5 different receivers. We've seen the option, 4 different guys that run the football tonight. We've seen screen passes. We've seen deep passes. We've seen wide receiver screens. I mean, Dave Logan really taps into that wealth of knowledge he's acquired over the years and puts it to pretty good use. It's going to be first down and goal for the Wildcats. Ball at about the Stanley Lake 6. 8:29 remaining here in the second quarter. Arvada West threatening to take the lead. They trail Stanley Lake 3-0. The way the defense is played, a touchdown might stand.
Yeah, really, Stanley Lake hasn't shown any ability to really get any points on the board. That big missed opportunity where that pass was dropped in the end zone could really come back to haunt.
First and goal, Wyatt in the shotgun. Looks to his left, gives it to Duran. Duran has a couple blocks, gets to the corner and scores. And what a nice moment there for Mike Duran. Comes back from a broken collarbone and puts 6 on the board.
Touchdown for
Yeah,
Arvada
Mike
West.
Duran, great little screen pass there by Wyatt, and he was so quick to the end zone. Absolutely blew by all the Stanley Lake defenders there. And yeah, really nice for him because I'm sure at the beginning of the season, nobody would have believed anybody if they said that Mike Duran would have caught his first touchdown pass October the 21st against Stanley Lake.
Can't remember if that's his first touchdown reception or not. I know he scored early on the year, I think on special teams. Let me see if I've got that information with me. Extra point, as you saw, was good.
Arvada West.
So the Wildcats lead at 7-3, and again, I mean, I tell you, I think it's going to stand up. You know what? That's Duran's second touchdown of the year. His first reception for a touchdown, he scored on a 61-yard touchdown run in the first game of the year against in a 35-0 win over the Lampkins. Well, what I see the other week, I think the Lampkins had a pretty good victory over a pretty good team. I can't quite remember who it was. Speaking of pretty good teams, I'm not sure if it's tonight or tomorrow night, but 2 of the state's best, maybe the state's 2 best football teams tee it up tomorrow night. Cherry Creek takes on Mullen. That's the game you'll want to buy a ticket for.
That's going to be a terrific game. Just read in the paper today that the big offensive lineman, Jake Anderson, committed to Nebraska.
You're kidding me. That makes me want to
Fletcher
vomit.
kicking off for
Down.
Arvada West.
You're
Barnett.
kidding me. What, did you read that in the Boulder Daily Camera?
I read it in the Denver Post.
Man. Now you've ruined my night. Damn Huskers. There's a nice special teams tackle. No whistle, a fumble, and recovered by the Wildcats. forcing that fumble, Keith Everard, 5'10", 170-pound senior. He kept at it. Keith Cavell loses the football, and the Wildcats recover.
Wait, Eric, they're not going to get, because I think they're going to say his forward progress.
Yeah, the whistle must have blown.
Forward progress was stopped, and then the fumble occurred. Yeah, somebody from Arvada West had the jersey of the return man, and was kind of holding him back. That's when he dropped the football, but he was not moving forward at the time.
Keith Everard with a nice tackle there on special teams for Dave Logan's Wildcats. And Jamsey runs into his own man in the backfield. Now we have a fumble, and it appears the Wildcats have recovered. They indeed have.
So if the last goal wasn't a fumble, this one for sure is. And just like that, Arvada West is going to get the ball. Really, and score 7 points here. And this is going to be real tough for Stanley Lake.
I'll tell you what, tonight has just been a disaster offensively for the Wildcats.
And just what an incredible job defensively. I mean, after the past few weeks, Arvada West has given up 38 points to Columbine. And
you checking out Rudy Andrade there? The defensive coordinator for A West, just firing up his troops, getting in their face. He likes the effort. The guys in purple are the purple people eaters on defense. 1st and 10, ball to Stanley Lake 17 for the Wildcat offense. Let's see if they can convert. Wyatt back to pass, looks to his left, throws it to Kyle. Kyle tries to break a tackle. He's inside the 15 to the 14.
About that, Arvada West defense gave up 38 points last week against Columbine. 40-some points, I believe, against Bear Creek. And 40 points to Overland. So they're due for a...
They've been maligned recently.
They're due for a good game.
2nd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Wyatt in the shotgun. Back to pass across the middle, finds Sims, and he waltzes into the end zone. That's good for 13 yards, and Arvada West now leads 13-3.
Wide open there, Matt Sims. He just had to catch the ball and walk into the end zone. Finally looks like Arvada West Wildcat offense is starting to click here. And they're putting the points on the board very easily.
Extra point by Thomas Valenta is up and good. And you're right, Valenta's got a pretty good leg. 14-3, Arvada West on top. 7:29 left here in the second quarter. 2 touchdowns in less than a minute for the Wildcats.
Right, really, this game, I felt all along that 3-0 lead by Stanley Lake was a little bit deceiving because Arvada West has clearly been playing better all game long.
I've got it 9 first downs to 1 here midway through the second quarter. That would, I can figure out the total yardage fairly quickly, but it's been all Arvada West, and now the scoreboard reflects it.
And you take away that long pass play that Jamsey threw to the tight end Mike Jones, and Stanley Lake may not even have 10 yards total.
They've got 58 yards passing. Negative 17 yards rushing, so 58 minus 17.
40 something.
41 yards. 14-3, Wildcats lead midway through the second quarter. There is the kick. It's high and short. Fielded at the 16. It's put on the ground, and the Gators just fall on it at about the 19-yard line. That's what happens when you got one of those big old linebackers or defensive linemen fielding a kickoff.
Hey, you want to look at them, at the same time you're trying to concentrate on the ball. Not an easy thing to do, catch a kickoff or a punt return for that matter.
Who is it who calls them the big uglies? Those guys can't handle football anymore. Is that John Madden or Matt Millen or one of those guys?
I've heard that. I can't tell you where I heard it, but I have heard it.
1st and 10, ball at the 20-yard line for the Gators. Jamsey under center, Stanley Lake in dire need of some offense. Jamsey fakes a handoff to Gaines, option to the left side. The pitch is to his running back. He's swarmed over for a gain of nothing on the play, and on the run there, Brian Burnham, a 5'10", 170-pound junior. His first carry of the night, and he has no more success than anyone else.
No, and I don't think it's a case of getting the ball in the right guy's hands. It just seems to be that their offense just isn't able to sustain any type of wall up front against the Arvada West.
Second down and 10.
Well, Arvada West's defensive line right now is just dominating the Gator offensive line. Second down and 10. Jamsey back to pass. Has some protection, throws to Forsyth. Pass is incomplete. No flag on the play. Might have been some contact before the ball reached there. No call. Good coverage by J.C. Tice.
Well, whether or not there's any flag, there's about 5 purple jerseys in that area, and there was about no chance that the Stanley Lake receiver was going to catch that football.
Well, Forsyth is Jamsey's favorite receiver. Forsyth already this year, 4 touchdown catches, over 60 yards. This is a kid who's got big play potential, and when they throw the football, they will look in his direction. He wears number 1 for the Gators already tonight, 1 catch, 16 yards. Third and 10, and dare I say, an important third down conversion opportunity here for the Gators. Jamsey back to pass. Actually, that's Justin Bishop. He throws it out to Jamsey along the left side. Jamsey tries to break some tackles. In on the tackle, Tyus and Palmer. Well short of a first down, a pickup of 5. It's going to bring up 4th and 5.
A little different action there for Jamsey as
Stop
he was
made
running
by
as a
number
wide
50,
receiver.
Palmer. 4th down
He had little success
and 3.
only got about 7. They're going to call it
Number 4, Colville in punt formation.
3. And again, expect Arvada West to get this football up around midfield.
Punting from their own 27. Atchison and Ranson back to receive the kick. The kick is bobbled. Cavell gets a high wobbler again. It is a short kick. Gets a Gator bounce down inside the A-West 40 and out at about the 37-yard line. So from the 27 to the 37, 37, 47, 43. That's about a 36-yard punt with no return. Not bad, but apparently we have a flag, and the guys in stripes are going to talk it over.
Not sure where the flag was thrown or who it might be on, but the bad snap did almost cause that kick to be blocked, and there was maybe a little bit of contact against.
It looks like
face mask, Arvada West.
Stanley Lake is going to get a first down, whatever the penalty was. I missed the signal there. Did you see it?
I didn't. It was a face mask. I didn't see the face mask. I didn't even see the flag thrown, but that is a huge penalty against Arvada West because it is going to give Stanley Lake, an absolutely anemic offense, another chance.
Incidental face mask, Arvada West.
Looks like it's a 5-yard face mask. And you're right, that gives the Gators their second first down of the first half, and there is only 5:48 remaining.
Stanley Lake 32, first and 10.
Bishop
Stanley Lake.
continues to play quarterback. We got Jamsey split right along with Forsyth. One receiver to the left, Justin Bishop. He sees some time at quarterback for the Gators. Gets a good block on Morales, rolls to his left and tries to avoid some pressure. Can't. Great coverage downfield by the Wildcats, as in on the sack, coming up on the bottom of the pile, was Jaden McNeely.
And Bishop gets up, barking at his receivers, telling them to try to get open. He looked like he was going to cock it and launch it downfield. But as you mentioned, great pass coverage deep by the defensive backs, and he just had to take a sack there.
Second down and 16 as the Gator offense continues to sputter and go backwards.
Bishop may be in there to sort of spark the passing game. Maybe Coach Bratton sees him as having a stronger arm than Jamsey.
Bishop back to pass, little screen to Mike Raines. Raines breaks a tackle and is hit hard by Flora, but not until he picks up about 7 on the reception.
Pass by number 10, Bishop, complete to number 34,
Third long,
Raines.
third down and about 9 yards.
Raines' first catch of the night, the 4th completion of the night from the Gators. Bishop 2 of 2 from 14 yards, and that brings up a more manageable 3rd and 9. Well, I think what's happened here is I think Coach Jim Bratton's realized his offensive line can't run block, at least right now, against this Arvada West Wildcat defense. So he's going to bring in Bishop, the better of his 2 quarterbacks as far as throwing the football, and see what they can do as far as moving the ball through the air. Bishop again back to pass. Here comes Morales. Bishop rolling to his left, throws it outside to Montoya's going to get a first down. He's hit hard by Ryan Palmer. Not until he picks up 10 on the play.
Well, that is certainly what Jim Radden was looking for there, as Bishop rolled to his left and found the open receiver in the left flat there and was able to pick up the first down. That is really the only thing that's been working for them tonight, and I expect them to stick with it as long as it is working.
This drive giving the Gator defense, however, a lot of these guys play with both ways, nonetheless giving a few members of the Gators defense some much-needed rest as they had been on the field for quite a while. Bishop back to pass, little screen pass thrown to Raines, and to be recovered by Vanola. It's an incomplete pass. Raines didn't look like he was ready for the football.
No, he didn't look like he was ready for the football, and the pass was a little bit upfield, not really catchable, I would say, really for Raines there. And luckily that pass was forward, as it was almost a backward lateral.
Second down and 10 for the Stanley Lake Gators. Ball at the 43-yard line. Bishop under center. One back in the backfield is Raines. Bishop back to pass and looks deep, has his tight end. Jones splits the two defenders, but the pass just over his outstretched arms. Nice looking throw there by Bishop.
Yeah, it was a good throw, and Jones again. Obviously, he's got a size advantage against those Arvada West defensive backs, using it to his advantage, almost grabbing it there for the catch.
Say Bishop is 6 foot, 150 pounds. Looks bigger than that. I'm wondering if those fives on that sheet are an eighth, and I just can't read them. Third down and 10 for the Gators. They're going to go back to the full house backfield. Bishop under center, fakes a handoff to Raines, looks to throw the screen, does throw it. It's a one-handed catch by Burnham coming out of the backfield. He's stopped for a loss of 3, and that's going to bring up fourth down.
Should have dropped it there.
Stopped by number 9, Vanola.
But as a receiver, you're always taught to cut the football, so catch the football, so you should say. So Burnham does what his instincts tell him. However, it is going to bring up a fourth down and 13 in a punting situation here for
Clock's running, 3:06 and ticking. And Atchison and Ransom back to receive the punt.
Keith Colville, not a lot of success punting the football tonight.
A little fake punt. Colville's got some running room, and he's going to pick up the first down and more. He's got room across the 30, 20, 10, cuts it inside, jumps over the tackler and scores. Oh my, but we have a penalty flag.
Boy, and if this is against, if this happens to be against Stanley Lake, it will be devastating, because that was an absolutely marvelous run from Keith Colville.
It's a 60-yard touchdown run right now. Let's see who the flag is against.
It was thrown around the 15-yard line downfield. It might have been some sort of illegal block, and the way the Stanley Lake players are reacting is going to be against them.
Well, we'll come back from the 15, so it'll be a first down. They'll keep the football.
Right.
Take it back to about the 30. That's correct. Again, though, a killer penalty for the Gators.
Two touchdowns, literally, that they had. I mean,
now, statistically wise, does that go down as a 60-yard run for the penalty? Or does it go down as like a 45-yard run to where the flag was thrown?
My feeling with that would be that it would be a 60-yard run and a 15-yard penalty.
Okay. That's how we're going to mark it. 6 carries, 37 yards today for Keith Cavill, a running back for the Gators and their punter. First down and 10 for the Gators at Arvada West 30. That penalty a killer, though, taking points off the board. And as you can tell, Stanley Lake needs all the points that they can get. Might get some here, though. Jones makes the catch, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. So just one play after the penalty, they strike back a 30-yard toss from Jamsey to Jones, and Double J strikes again for the Gators.
Great job there by Jamsey as he rolled out to his left, nearly sacked by a couple of Arvada West defenders. Jones was able to sort of break free and pick up big yardage in the score there.
2:35 left here in the second quarter, and Stanley Lake gets themselves right back into this football game.
As tough as I thought it would be for them to do so, they've obviously found a hole in the Arvada West pass defense and have been able to throw the ball rather consistently here in the last few minutes.
Still, though, if you're Stanley Lake, you're going to think back to that 4th and goal that they didn't convert on.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's going to be a killer because there you have it, 4th and potentially inches, and you don't get it in. And 6 points in this football game, I think, is going to mean an awful lot. Their defense is going to have to play much better than it had the last couple of Arvada West possessions. Wildcats pretty much moved it with ease.
Oh, absolutely. Timeout's been called here by Stanley Lake to discuss the point after. Not sure if they're going to be going for 2.
Looks like they are going for 2.
Bring it to within a field goal here late in the first half.
I'd already marked down 14-10. I speak too soon. Guess with a kicker like John Paulette, though. Oh, we got illegal procedure on the Gators. Now they're going to kick an extra point.
Now I'd imagine you had Paulette Jones.
Yeah, did I say John Paul Jones?
I don't.
Paul start.
I think Paulette seems a little.
Stanley Lake.
That's where he likes to go. That's what
yeah,
I
you
thought
tell him that. He's 6'1", 210. He'll clean your clock. Of course, he is a soccer player. Nothing against soccer players, you know. I dig Alexi Lawless, guys like that. Who was that goalie who wanted to play pro football as a punter or kicker?
Oh, that's right.
Tony
Miola. That's right.
Name from the past. 2:35 remaining. Paulette Jones with the extra point, a little longer than normal. It kicks up, and it is good. So the score indeed is 14-10. Arvada West with the lead, but the Gators have fought back in this one. They trailed at 14-3 now. They trail by 14-10.
Another exciting football game here on hand at our Jeffco Stadium. I got a feeling that it's largely to do with Arvada. I think Arvada West has a way of making their games exciting. I mean,
they want to give the crowd their money's worth,
well,
right?
The price of tickets, I don't think they're that expensive, but
price is right for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel such high status. I walk right through the gates, flashing like my little orange car.
Yeah, you're golden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paulette Jones going to tee this one up at the 40. And there you see him.
Number 8, left round, kickoff for Stanley Lake.
Steve Stanky, our wonderful cameraman, giving you a good look at Paulette Jones right there. Runs up and, line drive kick bounces off the hands of Brandon Kyle. He runs behind a wall of guys in purple jerseys and fights his way out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Pick up about 20 yards in the return.
So now with just 2:26 remaining here in the first half, Dave Wyatt and the Arvada West offense will have to march about 75 yards here for the Stanley Lake end zone.
Hey, 2:26, more than enough time for Arvada West to put some more points in the board.
And they sort of run like a 2-minute offense anyway, in a sense.
The entire game.
Right. So I don't think we really have to change anything here.
Shotgun formation for the men in purple. That's Sims in motion. Stanley Lake a tad confused. Wyatt throws to Duran, and Duran is hit hard, but we've got a face mask by Keith Cobell as he and Duran slap heads. Good sportsmanship there. A great play by Cobell. Threw Duran only for about a yard gain, but no need there to go head hunting.
By number 4, Colville, penalty marker now.
Right for the head, as you mentioned, and got a lot of his face mask there. Interesting to see what the call is going to be here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a personal foul or a 15-yarder.
Cobell read the play wonderful.
I
mean, he saw the play from the beginning and came up, and I really thought Duran was going to get his clock clean. Cobell did a little head hunting, and it's going to cost his team 15 big ones.
Ball to the Arvada West 43-yard line. It'll be
he could have just lowered his head, stuck his shoulder pad in Duran's ribs, and driven him to the ground, and would have given his team probably a little bit of a spark. Big hit like that. But now Arvada West gets 15 easy ones and 2:16 remaining. That darn light pole's in our way once again. Wyatt in the shotgun sends Duran out to the right flat. That means there are 3 receivers out there, and Wyatt throws to Duran, who just stands there. Duran breaks a tackle, and he's gone, folks, across the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Mike Duran, this guy is amazing.
How glad do you think the Arvada was? Coaches, players, fans, students are to have him back playing on the field. Absolutely incredible, and I'm surprised Keith Colville almost intentionally tried to trip Duran as he went into the end zone there. Not really a classy play there by Colville, and the flag has been thrown to indicate such.
Mike Duran, 2 touchdown catches tonight, 6 receptions for 95 yards. You don't think he's had an impact in this football game, do you?
Sportsmanlike conduct.
In my conversation earlier today with Jim Brad, and I asked him, I said, even though Duran's hurt, because I wasn't at that time aware that Duran would be back on the field, I said, Arvada West still possesses a lot of speed. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Guys like Atchison and Sins and Ranson have a lot of speed. Do you have players who can match up with the Wildcats' speed? And I ask that question to every opposing coach I talk to, and every time I get the same answer, and this guy's like, I hope so. Not like, oh yeah, we do. He's like, well, I hope so. Only time will tell. Time saying they don't so far. Dave Wyatt continues to pile up impressive numbers. His last 2 weeks have been nothing short of amazing. 43 completions and 70 attempts, 2 interceptions, 682 yards. The extra point is good, 21-10. Arvada West in the lead. But think of those numbers, 43 of 70, 682 yards in the last 2 weeks for David Wyatt. Now that's impressive.
And he's got so much help from his receivers because we've seen that he's throwing a lot of passes from 5-10 yards, and like the touchdown we just saw, Mike Duran runs for about 50 yards there and scores, so those stats might be a little bit inflated, but nevertheless, David Wyatt showing a great deal of improvement from early on this year.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 of 20 tonight. No interceptions. 3 touchdowns and 195 yards. And he had touchdown tosses of 6, 13, and 57 yards.
And I can't remember the last time he had an incomplete pass. I think he started 2 of 6.
9 consecutive completions for Dave White. There's a kickoff, pretty good kick. High, deep. Forsyth picks it up at the 6. He runs straight into a host of purple jerseys. He's brought down short of the 20. Good kickoff coverage there by the A-West special teams unit. And Drew Cisneros fired up. He must have been in on the tackle. When you see a mass of humanity like that in on the tackle, you look for the guy who comes out of the pile and fired up, and you just sort of assume that. Well, the Arvada West defense gave up its first touchdown tonight on the last possession for the Gators. Let's see if the men in purple can buckle down and stymie the Gator offense. They've done a good job as a whole here in the first half. Minute 42 remaining in the second quarter. Bishop back under center for the Gators. 2 receivers is right, 1 left. Rains in the backfield. Bishop looked to his left, nowhere to go, throws it to the right side. It's incomplete as he throws it short to James.
Tough catch there for Jamesy as Bishop being rushed out to his right. Really had just to get rid of the football in order not to take the sack.
4 of 7 for Bishop today, 21 yards.
Interesting to see whether or not Arvada West is going to try and stop Stanley Lake here and attempt to get some more points on the board. It's only a minute 38 left, and I think they still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Second down and 10. Stanley Lake in the full house backfield, and might have been a legal procedure. There's Rains breaking a tackle, running over a couple guys, fighting for extra yards. Tough run, only 2 on the play though. Ryan Palmer in there to help out on the tackle.
34 Rains, ball carrier.
Yeah, boy, Rains is so strong.
He's a big kid too.
Yeah.
I mean, 6'1", 215 pounds.
Timeout, Arvada
I
West.
brought my edition of Super Prep magazine. Alan Wallace puts it together. It's one of those recruiting magazines, and I temper this by saying, recruiting is not a specific science. I mean, you can rate guys, but you really don't know who the best guys are until you see them after their 4 years of college. But in the Midlands area, Mike Rain's listed as the 92nd player in the Midlands area, and that area covers, I think, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Oklahoma. I already said Wyoming, so being in the top 100 in that region means you're a pretty good football player. The lone Arvada West player in the top 100, Mr. Dan Palmer, listed at 51. In quotations, it says he's a headhunter. You'll pick him out quickly on the field because he's the one who's so physical, said one receiver. He's forced 5 concussions.
I love that quote. Some players like to gather up stats. Apparently, Ryan Palmer likes to give people concussions.
Oh, there's a little trickery by the Gators as they pitch it to Cabell in the backfield, and he gets a pretty good kickoff. The Gators are going to down it inside the Arvada West 30 at the 27-yard line, and 3rd and 8, you haven't had much success. Not a bad play call.
No, really not, because at the same time, Arvada West not expecting they can't return the ball, so you just let it bounce, and that's going to go for a pretty decent kick. And
1 minute 9 seconds.
Arvada West march quite a distance, although
probably good for about 47 yards there, 50 yards in the punt. So we've got a minute 9 remaining here in the second quarter. Let's see if the Wildcats can put something on the board. This is going to be a pass to Duran in the left flat. Actually, Wyatt looks downfield, gives it to Ranson. A short pickup on the play of 2 is going to bring up second down.
Yeah, that could have been potentially very dangerous for Stanley Lake, as Arvada West had 3 receivers off to their left and only 2 defenders matching them. If all 3 guys go long, somebody be open and score a touchdown for sure.
But I thought for sure they'd just throw it to Duran like they have in the past.
Yeah.
He just kind of stands there. They throw it to him and see what he can do. That time he threw it downfield to, or sort of downfield, Ranson. There's a pass to Sims. Sims gets a good block by Ranson. Has some running rooms. Tripped up short of the 50 at the 49 by Tallman, but a gain of 19 yards in play.
27.
Clock will stop momentarily for the chain gang to move.
Arvada West, ball at
Receptions,
the
46
Arvada
yards
West
for
49.
Sims. Wyatt now 216 yards passing. Wyatt spikes it with authority,
I was gonna say,
and
yes.
32 seconds remaining.
Incomplete pass.
Spiked that ball, and it came out 10 yards back behind the Stanley Lake line.
Well, not that I'm not rooting for A West to score a touchdown here on the Arvada West Wildcat Network, but I wouldn't mind seeing Valenta get a shot at a 40, 45-yard field goal. On his extra points, it looks like he's got pretty good distance, and I haven't seen him, I don't know if I've seen him attempt a field goal yet this year. I'd like to see what he's got. Wyatt back to pass, throws, caught by Duran, tackled short of the first down, a pickup of 8 in on the tackle. That's
Stopped by Zimmerman.
And because Arvada West came out just short there, they're going to be forced to call a timeout, their third and final timeout here with 23 seconds remaining.
42-yard line, 3rd down.
So if you throw it, you're probably looking at throwing it to the sidelines. And if not, you're going to run up there, spike it, and probably line up for a field goal. As we see Thomas Valenta over here, number 11 on the sidelines. You can't see it, but he's kind of getting that leg loose and ready to kick. Dave Logan out there with his offense, making sure that they know they have no more timeouts remaining and to either get out of bounds or get down quickly so we can spike it. Dave's got to hustle and get off the field. He's got to remember his playing days are over. Strolls off the field. Let's see what the Wildcats come up with here on 3rd and 2. In the shotgun, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Wyatt looking to his left, throws. Duran's got it. He's out of bounds at the 34-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 8 yards on the play, and they're going to have another shot here at another play.
A couple more of those, yeah, and they'll be inside the 20.
Play number 5, Zimmerman.
That play only took 5 seconds.
10.
I'll tell you what, Duran might turn
Arvada
into a
West.
football player. This kid's an awesome baseball player as well. I want to say Dave told me last year after his junior year, he would have been a 10th round selection in the amateur baseball draft.
That's phenomenal.
So this is a kid who's a dual sport athlete, and I'm not sure exactly what he plans to do in college.
I was just going to ask if you knew what kind of plans Mike Dern had for next year.
I'd like to know his time in the fourth. Yeah, he's got to be a 4.4 guy, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, 4.5, that'd be like the slowest. I mean, he's quick. First down and 10, Wyatt fakes a handoff to Kyle, throws to the right, has his man Ranson, catches it behind his back, is going to be tackled inside the 30. Arvada West is going to have to spike this ball. They've got less than 10 seconds left.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're not going to get it off.
Clock reads zeros, and Arvada West doesn't get it off. And I think Dave Logan's probably going to have a few words with Josh Ranson. That's a play where he needs to get out of bounds.
Did catch it sort of behind his back, and that forced him to stop and grab it. And by the time that happened, he wasn't able to get out of bounds. So we will go to halftime here at Jeffco Stadium. 21-10, Arvada West Wildcats leading.
In control of stopping that 3-game losing streak. When you hear us next, it'll be the beginning of the second half. Welcome back to Jeffco Stadium. Our score at the half, Arvada West leads Stanley Lake 21-0. The Wildcats, as we've mentioned a number of times before, trying to stop a 3-game losing streak, and right now at the intermission they have an 11-point lead. Matt?
Yeah, halftime stats for you, Eric. 237 total yards for Arvada West. How many yards do you think came by the run?
Well, I already know, but I'll let our listeners guess.
All right, 0. It was all Dave Wyatt. 237 yards passing. Actually, I shouldn't say it was all Dave Wyatt because Mike Dern was on the receiving end of 111 those passing yards, including 2 touchdowns. Fantastic number for Wyatt. 20 of 25, as mentioned, 237 yards, 3 touchdowns. Absolutely just amazing statistics. 248 yards now is being given. I guess they got some yards at halftime that I didn't know about.
I made a mistake.
Okay. So 11 yards rushing for Arvada West. Never mind. The fact is Arvada West has been getting it done all the evening long with the pass and really passing at will against at times has looked to be an overmanned, overmatched Stanley Lake defense. However, they have gotten on track a little bit. Late in the second half, they put together a good drive. 148 total yards for them, 109 of those passing. Colville 6 for 37 rushing. Jamsey 6 for 3 for 88 yards passing. Mike Jones on the receiving end of 72 of those yards. So really, neither of these clubs have been able to get anything going offensively on the ground. It's been all through the air.
Tell you what, I think this game right now is being won on the line of scrimmage. Arvada West is able to protect Wyatt. He's had enough times to make 2 or 3 different reads and find the hot receiver. In this system at the high school level, I think that Arvada West offense is a little too complicated for most of its competition. And that I mean, if you give them time to play pitch and catch and allow them time to run their routes, you're going to have a tough time stopping them. You need to have pressure on the quarterback from your linemen. Stanley Lake hasn't got it. And on the flip side, Stanley Lake has absolutely no running game in this football game. Those rushing yards, remember, 60 of them came on a fake punt. So, I mean, you do the math. They've lost like, how many yards rushing do they have? They have 39, so they've lost like 21 in every other facet.
Right, when they run.
So, I mean, this game really has been dominated on both lines of scrimmage by the Arvada West Wildcats. Stanley Lake opens up the second half with the pigskin. They have it just outside the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. We have Jamsey under center, full house backfield. Montoya the fullback. Eric Raines not in the football game right now. Jamsey runs a little option. No, he hands it off to Montoya, and that's one of the better runs of the night for the Gators. Pickup of about 3 on the play.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see what kind of adjustments Coach Jim Brown made during halftime for the Stanley Lake Gators.
I think you got to challenge your offensive linemen. Say, guys, come on. I mean, we haven't run for squat. I mean, you guys got to get a body on somebody. I mean, it's like the floodgates have opened every time they snap the football. 2nd down and 7 for the Gators. Jamsey, little play action, deep, looking for Forsythe. He's got his man beat, and makes a no. Pass is incomplete. I'll tell you what, he had his man beat. That pass would have been a little further. That might have been 6.
Yeah, broken up, number 29, Shane Marsh at the very last second. Otherwise, Forsyth.
Pass by number 6, Dempsey.
We talked about Forsyth earlier. Their big play threat, 4 catches this year already for over 4 touchdown catches that have traveled over 60 yards this season.
Third down.
Easy for me.
And 8.
3rd down and 7 for the Gators. I like saying Gators. That's a good nickname, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how Stanley Lake gets that nickname in the middle of the
Maybe in Lake. I don't think a Gator's ever been in the state of Colorado.
There is a Stanley Lake up there in northern Arvada. There's a handoff to Montoya. He is stopped for no gain on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down in a punting situation towards Stanley Lake. Montoya 4 carries tonight for 4 yards.
4th down.
4th and 7, back to receive the kick, Atchison and Ranson. Covell with the punt. Has some time. It's a low, wobbly kick. It's going to be fielded by Atchison at the 46. He's got some running room. Cross midfield, across the 40, down the sidelines. One man to beat. Covell misses him, and he stepped out of bounds. Let's see where he's going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 32. Great punt return.
Yeah, Atchison doesn't like it, but he did coming around the corner there near the 32-yard line. Did get his foot on the chalk there.
22-yard punt return by Atchison.
Fantastic field position again to start for Arvada West. Really haven't had to make too many long drives here. They've usually been working about half the field.
1st and 10, ball at the 32-yard line of Stanley Lake. Wyatt under center now. Arvada West in the eye. Kyle and Iwi in the backfield. I haven't seen Iwi get a carry in a couple weeks. Little fake to Iwi, pitch to Kyle. He's got some running room, a nice block on the outside. He's eventually brought down, but not until he picks up 7. And the man there with the nice block was Bob Gutierrez, number 80, from his wide receiver position. 7 yards for Kyle. He's got 5 carries for 18 yards on the night.
Quickly back to line of scrimmage. Here's Arvada West.
They don't waste any time. 2nd down and 3. Wyatt, there's Iwi with the carry. The big fella rumbling towards the 1st down.
Might have gotten it. Have to check.
And off take by number 34, Iwi.
He's going to be close. Maybe short. They're going to say he is short. Nope. 1st down for Iwi.
Plays good. 1st and 10.
I just had a feeling he was going to get that carry pretty soon.
2nd half here now. Starting off with running the football quite a bit. Probably something we're going to be seeing a lot of from Arvada West, I would imagine.
Wyatt under center. Fakes it to Iwi again. The pitch to Kyle. Kyle gets another good block from his wide receiver. That time it's Gutierrez. However, a hell of a tackle by number 60. That's Nick Cabral. We got a penalty flag. It's going to be illegal roughness on Stanley Lake. So the Gators have really let their emotions get the best of them in this football game.
Yeah, Don Wilcox, the defensive end, came in and popped Wyatt there at the end. Really no reason for it. And it's going to tack on an extra 15 yards to the end of that play.
4th 1st down of the night. Arvada West has gained via a Stanley Lake penalty. I mean, you just can't give teams that many chances without earning it. 1st and 10, and I think they will be able to get a 1st down before reaching the end zone. It's going to be close. They're still in the eye. That's Iwi again, and Iwi goes off his right guard and stumbles ahead for about 3. Joe Shepard, Kip Rule, Nick Aiden, Josh Jones, all along that offensive line. Along with Shane Kuntz, 5'11", 190-pound senior. He's the left tackle. Right tackle's Jones, big old number 73. Little option again to the right side. Kyle breaks the tackle, but finally is tripped up over there with the tackle. I believe is Eric Geis, number 33. Called his name a couple times.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Good job taken by number 22, Kyle.
And it's going to be 3rd
Back
down
made
now.
by number 33, guys.
Got about 5 yards to go here.
2-down territory for the Wildcats. We've got Gutierrez and Schwab split left. A lot of younger guys, or guys who usually don't play a whole lot, getting some playing time here early in the second quarter. Wyatt throws. Got Gutierrez with the catch and the score. Bob Gutierrez with the touchdown, and Wildcats keep pouring it on in this game.
Wyatt complete to number 80.
Great catch by Bob Gutierrez. He had a man on his back there, took a pop. However, held on to the football, and as you mentioned, Gutierrez is one of those players who doesn't get into the game that often. He's sort of a backup receiver to the main four who usually play. However, he is able to come in there and get a touchdown catch for himself.
What I like about that is the fact that Gutierrez on a number of plays there had given them some great blocking from his receiver position. Extra points up and good. Is that Kristen Cameron?
There you go. Cameron. Good. Makes the score
But
now.
Gutierrez had done some good blocking in that drive. I like seeing a guy like that getting, repaid for his efforts by catching the touchdown. 28-10, Wildcats lead it. Remember, the scoring started off in the first quarter with Paulette Brown kicking a 47-yard field goal for the Gators. They led 3-0. Second quarter, that's when Arvada West started to assert themselves. Mike Duran, a 6-yard pass from Wyatt, 7-3 Arvada West. Then less than a minute later, Matt Sims, a 13-yard pass from Wyatt, 14-3 Wildcats. Stanley Lake answered, though. Mike Jones, a 30-yard pass from Jamsey, made it 14-10 Wildcats. But Mike Duran, with a minute 50 left in the half, scored on a 57-yard touchdown pass from Wyatt, 21-10 Arvada West. And then, as you just saw there, Bob Gutierrez with a touchdown catch from Wyatt, his fourth touchdown pass of the night, 28-10 Wildcats. And I'd imagine if they score another touchdown, we might see Dave Wyatt put on the baseball cap and sit the fourth quarter out. Cavell with a nice move there as he breaks a tackle, spins out of another one, finally is wrapped up at the 42. In on that tackle is Keith Everhard. And Stanley Lake will start their own 25.
The first and 10, Stanley Lake. Ball marked at the Stanley Lake
21-26, 242 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, really about 2.5 quarters of work here.
Well, I think I mentioned this last week. Those are great fantasy numbers.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone plays fantasy football at the prep level, but you could pile up some big numbers if you did. If you had Marcus Houston as your running back, Dave Wyatt as your quarterback. Handoff up the middle, not much room there. It's going to be a pickup of about 1. I can't tell who had the carry. That's Mike Raines. He's got 5 carries for 6 yards, so his return from injury hasn't quite been as impressive as Mike Duran's.
No, it has not, and really you can't blame him. He's a big, powerful back, and just can't expect him to take on a tough Arvada West defense like the Wildcats have when you're not really getting a good effort from the guys up front for your own team.
Second down. Actually, that was a pickup of 2. I'm going to shortchange to Mike by a yard there. Call it 2nd and 8 for Stanley Lake. Again, 3 players in the backfield running the option to the right side. Jamsey pitches it to Cavell. Cavell breaks the tackle, scoots out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. A pickup of 5 for Cavell. He is by far the leading rusher for the Gators with 42 yards. It's kind of been an interesting night because he started with 4 carries for -3 yards. Then he lost 20 yards.
That's right on that.
On the what happened there? It was a fumble,
right,
and he ended up recovering it 20 yards back because someone kicked it. But then he had a 60-yard run off a punt that was called back by a clip, so he's got 7 carries for 42 yards. Unofficial.
Third down and
3rd
3.
and about 4 for the Gators. They sure could use a first down. Jamsey back to pass. There comes Morella's barreling down on him. Gets rid of it, and the pass is short. Cavell kicks it. There's a flag. That's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Cavell, and that's about the 3rd or 4th time that's happened to him.
Yeah, you know what? That's his second one, and I'd imagine the referee's getting a little bit tired of his act out there. That time, Drew Cisneros was able to deflect the pass away from the Cavell.
Well, man, I know Cavell had the face mask down here on Duran. That was a 15-yarder.
Right.
And then he just did this. Yeah, he tried to trip him, That's a second penalty, and then he kicked the ball there. That's at least 3.
Stanley Lake.
And that's going to cost him 15 yards in field position. Wow, I'll tell you what, 7 penalties for 75 yards tonight by the Gators.
A lot of those by Cavill. Now it's like
It's like 35 yards in penalties from
for
Cavill.
him, and he's had
42 yards rushing.
and
He's worth 7 total yards. So now Stanley Lake pinned back. Cavill is standing inside his own 5 to receive the snap. Atchison and Ranson right inside midfield to return this kick. There's a good kick by Cavill. Caught by Atchison. Fair caught, actually, right at midfield. He drops it. It looked to me like Stanley Lake might have recovered, but let's see who can grab the football from who in that mass of humanity.
yeah, Atchison dropped it immediately, and it looked to be recovered by the Stanley Lake defender. However,
John Flora signaling Arvada West has it.
seems to be what.
Yep. And that is indeed the case.
Probably one of those scenarios that you mentioned where the ball player changed hands a couple of times on the plow there, and Arvada West just was the last one to come up with the ball.
Stanley Lake's kind of like the Penn State of high school football here, aren't they? Not much going on those uniforms.
No, I was going to say, there's no name, there's no,
Arvada West.
There's no nothing.
Title on the jersey. They have something on the helmet.
I think it's an S and an L, appropriately enough. Wyatt back to pass in the shotgun, rolls to his right. First time he's been hit. Atchison makes the catch, but it's going to be for about a loss of 4.
Yeah, it sort of hit him in the face mask, and then he was able to regain control of it and catch it. However, he was moving backwards, and it's going to be about second down and 14 to go. Loss of 4 yards.
Atchison 3 catches for 13 yards. Remember, last week he had a big week catching 7 passes for 115 yards, but with Mike Duran back tonight, he's taken away a few touches from guys like Ranson and Atchison. Duran, a senior, returning from a broken collarbone, and he's got 8 catches for 111 yards. There's an inside handoff to Joe Totero. He's out across midfield, a pickup of about 7 for Totero.
Handoff taken by number
His first
43,
carry of the night.
Totero. Tackled by number 5, Zimmerman.
Under quarter moving
Third down
quickly down to the final
and 6.
5 minutes remaining here.
28-10 is our score. Wildcats lead it. Third down and about 6 for Arvada West. Wyatt in the shotgun. Fakes a handoff to Totero. Pressured. Throws. Caught by Duran. Stops on a dime. Breaks a couple tackles. And he's out across the 25. Close to the 20-yard line.
Wow, great catch there. And as you mentioned, he just absolutely put on the brakes. Cut back to the opposite side of the field and able to pick up about another 10, 15 yards in the
Stop
play
made by
there.
number 1, Forsyth. First
Man,
and 10.
I really wish that he had been around the whole season because
Might have been a different year.
Yeah, and he's so exciting to watch. He just makes the game that much more enjoyable.
I'll go as far to say if Mike Duran had been healthy the entire year, this team would still be having its sights set on the postseason.
Oh, absolutely.
Wyatt back to pass. He's hit for the 3rd time. Pass is caught in the end zone. Josh Ranson, what a throw and what a catch. Oh, my.
Now we're really seeing Arvada West pull out all the stops here tonight. Some great plays from a number of players. That time Josh Ranson gets elevated in the end zone to make a diving catch and add another 6 points on the board for the Wildcats. And another remarkable pass there from Dave Wyatt, who took a shot, but nevertheless will continue to up his statistics.
His 5th touchdown pass of the night. And he's completed.
It takes a while to count.
18 consecutive passes. So on the night, he was 20 of 25, so he is 24 of 29, 284 yards, no interceptions, and 5 touchdowns.
Easily the best
Wow.
game of his season.
Probably the best game of his life.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, there are guys, young kids out there, and brothers, sisters, just wishing for games like that. Powder puff football, fraternity football, Pop Warner football, it don't matter. Fantasy football.
Last time at a game like that, I was about 10 years old playing the street, and I think I had 9 touchdown passes to my brother.
Last time I had a game like that, I was playing that electronic football. Dave Wyatt, what a night. 35-10, Arvada West with this game firmly in hand, I'd say. Defense has been spectacular, and Dave Wyatt has continued his hot play. I'll tell you what, the first few games of the season, was not playing very well, and I would guess, I've never spoken to Dave, but I think he'd probably admit it. He was throwing a lot of interceptions and having a lot of turnovers. There you see Cavell on the return. He's tackled by Adam Campbell, number 10 for Arvada West. Campbell, 6 foot, 170-pound junior, I believe. Senior, actually. No, he's 5'9", 155-pound junior, my fault. But as I was saying, I think David probably would tell you, hey, I wasn't playing very well. But the last 3 games, I'll tell you what, I bet he's caught some. I bet he's caught some eyes at some colleges. I'm not saying at the Division I level,
right,
but I'd definitely say at the Division II level. I mean, that last series, he got hit 3 consecutive times and threw 3 passes right on the money. That was impressive. Jamsey back to throw. This one's a air ball as Campbell comes up with the interception. He's got a few blockers running to the right, and Campbell jumps and is brought down hard to the turf at the 40-yard line. But another Stanley Lake turnover as Adam Campbell makes the interception.
Adam Campbell just playing the center fielder there and able to make the catch.
I think Arvada West might look to use that running game a little bit now.
Probably so. They started to use a little bit in the beginning of the third quarter and then went to the pass. But, really give Dave Wyatt some credit for hanging in there. Obviously went through some trying times, and we even talked last week about how we might even see the backup quarterback if he didn't play well at a phenomenal game. And really, he's definitely proven himself here in the last few weeks.
Mike Duran signaling for a timeout. Either not enough men on the field, or maybe Dave just said, hey, let's think this over. So the last 2 weeks coming into tonight's game, Dave Wyatt was 43 of 70, thrown 2 picks, a few more touchdowns than that, however, and he had completed on 61% of his passes for 682 yards. Tonight, he's got 284 yards passing. So that's 966 yards in the last, 10 and a half quarters?
That's about almost 100 yards a quarter.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that
3:14 remaining here in the third. 43 of 70. He's 24 completions tonight. So that's 67 completions in 99 attempts. I mean, he's thrown for like 1,000 yards and completed close to 70% of his passes in the last 2.5 football games. Since I work for KTLK and Dan Patrick's Sports Talk radio show airs on my station 760 from 11 to 2. Nice little promotional plug there. Dare I say he's in fuego.
Second down.
Handoff there to Kyle. He picks up 4. 8 carries for 25 yards for Brandon Kyle. Another junior seeing some playing time here tonight. Wyatt remains in the shotgun here. Arvada West leads 35-10. Wyatt back to throw. Hit as he throws. Pass to Atchison is dropped. And that is going to break a string of 18 consecutive completions.
Just going to mention it, that is the end of 18 consecutive completed passes for Dave Wyatt there.
Big old number 71 coming out on the field for Arvada West. Play that left tackle position.
I think that's is that Jaden McNeely?
No, it's Mick something. I don't have his name on my roster. Wyatt throws to the left side to Sims. He's got a block from Ranson. Scampers across the 30-yard line. Good for a first down and good for a pickup of 8.
Number 28, Sims.
And another first down for the Wildcats.
Bauman plays good first and 10. Arvada West.
You're right. It is Jaden McNeil. One of my favorites. So Jaden's seeing a little time at offensive tackle. I'm not going to say he hasn't played there much this year, but I haven't seen him on the offensive line. Wyatt rolling to his right. pressure, gonna tuck it under and run. He's got a first down, and he's inside the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 15 for Wyatt.
Great scrambling there by Dave Wyatt, something he's really improved on. Seemed like earlier in the season, a little cautious when he got the football. Wasn't sure whether he should run with the ball. Now he just decisively tucks it under his arm and ends up field. That is smart of a confident quarterback.
We mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. He's completed passes tonight to 6 different receivers. Duran's got 9 catches. Ranson's got 6. Sims has 4. Atchison has 3. Kyle has 2. And Gutierrez has 1.
And that is tough to defend against for any team, whether or not you're a basement dweller, as Stanley Lake has been in the past, or you're a great football team. When you got to cover 6 different guys, it's a possibility to get the ball. It really makes it tough to stop an offense.
25 of 31, 292 yards for David Wyatt. And again, I really think that the performance the last 3 weeks, and if I'm a guy from Colorado School of Mines or Adams State or Western State, and I'm at this game watching it, what impresses me the most is these last 4 or 5 times he's thrown the ball, he's been hit right before he's thrown it. But he stood in there, thrown the ball with authority, and made some tough completions. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, ball to 15. Looks to his right, throws to Duran. Duran's got it, breaks the tackle from Forsyth, and he's in for the score. Mike Duran, his 3rd touchdown of the night, the 6th touchdown pass from Wyatt.
What a return for Mike Duran. That is absolutely fantastic for him to get in the end zone for a 3rd time tonight. I don't think he could have asked for much more on his big return this evening. And we see now the backup quarterback, Danny Weiss, throwing on the sideline, appearing like he will come in and take over for Dave Wyatt, who has had just an okay night tonight.
Just okay. We're turning him into a superstar. I'm sending these tapes to Boulder. He looks every bit as good as Mike Machete to me. Extra point is up and no good.
I thought it was good. I don't know if they just haven't added the point there. We will find out.
42 to 10. I was busy writing down some stats, so I did not see whether or not that. Okay, it is good. Okay, 42 to 10. Wildcats lead. We're still in the 3rd quarter. 2:07 remaining, and Arvada West is going to get the football because right now the Stanley Lake offense is struggling.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. Less than 10 minutes. If you look at time-wise here, off the clock anyway.
And I'll tell you what, for the first time, granted Wyatt has put up big numbers the last 3 games, but really I think for the first time in the last couple weeks, at least since I've been back doing the play-by-play, I think the offense is starting to hit on all cylinders.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, even last week they struggled at times. Columbine was able to create some disruptions, and Cavell slams the ball to the turf again. No flag. However, Cavell really just needs to get a lid on that emotion.
Yeah, that's something that can be good if you're a team that's succeeding, and bad when you're not going good. And right now it's not going too good for Cavell or Stanley Lake. However, they will start from the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 ball at the 20, as Matt said. Matt Monahan and Eric Christensen with you here at Jeffco Stadium. Time running out in the 3rd quarter, but time not running out on the Wildcats. They lead at 42 to 10. Marcus Jamsey under center for the Gators. Little handoff up the gut to Mike Raines, and he's going to struggle to get back to the line of scrimmage. Another no gain on the play for Raines. 6 carries, 7 yards. It's been a tough night for the fullback for the Gators.
Tough night for everybody.
Yeah. Mike Jones had a pretty good night from his tight end spot, but
he looks good. I like him.
2 catches, 72 yards. Jones wears number 88 for Stanley Lake. You see him there right above the 20 on your screen. Bishop in the game at quarterback for the Gators. And I'll tell you what, they had 2 wide receivers out here on the right, and there was only 1 defensive back, and they threw it to the left. poor recognition here by Stanley Lake.
Well, when things are going bad for you, sometimes you don't even get the obvious stuff. That seems to be the case so far here tonight.
I assume at the high school level you have coaches up in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
And right now I'm saying let's line up in that same formation.
And try it again.
Send in a guy from the sideline saying, hey, listen, they got one guy trying to guard 2 on the right side.
Well, now they got confusion as to how many guys they want on the field.
Guys are running. It looks like they have 20. Forsyth. There's a timeout by Stanley Lake. You're exactly right. Confused as to what personnel should be on the field and what personnel should be out of the field. And they have to spend a timeout, trailing 42-10 with 81 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. What's impressed you the most tonight about the Wildcats?
Without a doubt, Mike Durham. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say Dave Wyatt, but I've seen this sort of progressing and coming up to this, so I'm not totally shocked that Wyatt has been able to do so well. But really, Mike Durham's speed more than anything. It's like when he gets the football, things around him go in slow motion, and he's going at full speed. That to me is really what impressed me the most. I think he's just a wonderful player. Like I said, I hadn't had a chance to see him all year except for basically one quarter in that Mullen game, and he didn't get the ball much there. So I still think that Arvada West has got to get something going with their running game, though. That still hasn't worked all night. If there's, you don't want to try to harp on find bad things that have gone on for the team, but
You'd be a good head coach. Cavill that time thinks to run before he catches the football. He drops it. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
Talking about the run, Mike Orr has not been in the ball game since early in the first quarter. Standing on the sideline, helmet on his head. Don't know why he's not in the game, but
I'm going to guess, and this is strictly a guess, I just think it's personnel change.
that's not a bad. I mean,
He hadn't been productive the last couple weeks. As far as A West goals for the beginning of the season, those have pretty much been taken away from him. And I think Dave probably just said, let's see what the young kids can do. Adam Campbell fields the punt and is thrown for a loss. In on the tackle for the Gators was Matt Thomas.
Taken by number 10, Campbell.
It's getting close to Halloween.
That would be no good for my statistical keeping if we didn't have any light. Caleb Atkinson comes back to the sidelines and playing quarterback now for the Arvada West Wildcats, Danny Voss.
That's about. Vice has come in. Has seen a little bit of action this year, not much, as Wyatt has got the lion's share of snaps.
Ball to 49-yard line for the Wildcats. Zerman threatening to blitz from his right outside linebacker position. Option by the Wildcats. Nice patience there by Voss. The penalty flags all over the place. Picks up about a yard, but something tells me that's coming back.
Voss did not look real good on that. I didn't seem to be. He just sort of seemed to be standing around there on the option and not moving his feet. Saw 2 flags go down.
Jason Brown running out onto the field as well for Arvada West. He's going to be a receiver on the right side.
Trip against Arvada West is the call.
Oh my goodness, that's a
Tripping Arvada West.
big time penalty too.
Yeah, must have
15-yarder.
Apparently moves the ball to the Arvada West 32-yard line. Timeout, Arvada West.
That's going to bring up 2nd and long, and there's a timeout on the field. Zach Ewey running onto the field with Dave Logan, along with Brian Johnson, a 6', 200-pound senior tight end. Brown and Dallas Flug come off the field for the guys in purple.
Dallas Flug, that's kind of a good football name.
Yeah, you know who had a good football name when I was writing these down? I think linebacker. Stanley Lake, number 45, Derek Belt.
Derek Belt.
I was just waiting for him to make a big play. I had it all. Derek Belt, Belts, you know. I haven't heard Belt's name tonight.
First down.
There's a look at the second string offense for the Wildcats. Joe DeTero playing running back. Bob Gutierrez, number 80, coming out to the left. Matched up there by number 27, Sean Tallman. First down and a long way to go. Almost first down and about, let's see, about 28. Handoff to Iwi up the middle, and there is nothing going.
Looked like a rugby scrum there. It's about 20 guys moving.
Iwi's going to lose about 2, so he's got 4 yards on 3 carries tonight. Right now what you have is you got the Stanley Lake first string defense going up against the Arvada West second string offense, and I'm afraid we're going to see a little more.
Going to slow the game down a little bit for sure. Last 30 seconds here in the third quarter.
And we have an officials timeout now, as it looks like they are attending to Zimmerman's helmet. Brian Zimmerman, a 5'8", 150-pound senior linebacker for the Gators. Looks like he might have had something awry with his headgear. He's on the left side, back ready to play though. Second down and 30. Cavell dancing around out there. Blitzed by the Gators, and Voss is going to be sacked, and Derek belts Weiss.
You got it.
Finally. That's going to be a loss of about 10 more yards. That's going to bring up third down and 4.
45. Well,
it's going to also in the third quarter.
With our score 42-10, Wildcats lead it. Let's take a brief timeout on the Wildcat Network.
Back here for the third quarter of action here at Jefferson County Stadium in Lakewood. Arvada West up 42-10 here in the final 12 minutes. They've got a bunch of second stringers in here right now, including the backup quarterback, Danny Weiss. It is about third down and 40 yards to go here as Arvada West has played tremendously well offensively here tonight.
So we've got third and forever for the Wildcats, huh?
Third down and forever is correct. 40 yards.
40 yards. Got another stoppage in action here. Boy, this fourth quarter could be a long one. We've got 12 minutes up on the board, and 12 minutes separate Arvada West from their fourth win of the season.
Victory and their first win in 3 weeks.
Get them back up to 500, and it'll even their record in the Jeffco League at 2-2. With Bear Creek at 4-0, I just really think it's going to be hard for A West to come back from that. I mean, I guess mathematically it's possible, but if Bear Creek were 4-2 and A West was 4-2, Bear Creek would have the better of it. They beat Arvada West the other week. Vase with an incompletion there.
Right broken up for Stanley Lake by number 4, Colville.
Explained briefly just how, obviously the team that wins the Jefferson County Conference League goes on to the playoffs. Now how many is it one wild card team?
It's either 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe it's 2 wild card teams make it in. And there's no way Arvada West is going to make it in at 4-4. I mean, the best they could finish would be 6-4 overall, 4-2 in conference. And we got a block punt picked up by Bauman, and he stretches it over the goal line, but he's stopped short inside the one. Brandon Bauman's the one who picked up the ball, but the gentleman who came in with the blocked kick, I believe, was Keith Cavell. No, actually, I'm wrong. It was Nick Cabral, 6'2", 230-pound senior.
There's a bright spot for
you've got to get them however you can. Absolutely. You know, you got to have things to build on, and the special teams for the Gators comes up with a big play. Looks like it's going to be marked at about the 2. Let's see if the Gators can punch it in. Second string defense out there for the Wildcats. Hand off to Raines, and he plows his way towards the goal line, and Raines gets on the board with a touchdown tonight. So he's had a tough night, his first game back from an injury, but he's able to say he was able to score a touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. He gets in the end zone finally after being harassed all night by the Wildcat defense, and it is now 42-16 with Paulette Jones coming on to kick the extra point.
Jones already has a 47-yard field goal to his credit tonight. We believe his long before that had been 45 yards, and Coach Jim Braden told us earlier today that Jones had quite a leg, and he wasn't lying. Snap down, hold good, kick good, and the score is 42-17, Arvada West.
Kick for the extra point by number 8.
Long scoring drought ends there for the Gators. They had scored at 2:35 remaining in the second quarter, but they've been scoreless throughout the entire third.
West 42, Stanley Lake 17.
So as we just get underway here in the fourth quarter, looking at the 5A Jefferson County Conference standings, Bear Creek, you mentioned 4-0 in conference, 4-3 overall. We've lost 3 non-league games, which I find kind of surprising.
Well, they played down in Texas against Lamar down in Texas and got spanked. You know, they struggled early in the year, but then they came back, played strong in conference. Well, you saw them play Arvada West, and if I remember correctly, you and John Knopf were fairly impressed with the Bear Creek Bears.
Right, oh yeah, very solid team.
I can't remember the name of their running back, but he had a 120, 130-yard night against Arvada West. Joe Johns?
Joe Johns or Joe Jones?
And Justin Holland, only a junior, one of the best quarterbacks probably in the nation as far as juniors go. Not this year, but the year before, he threw for close to 500 yards against Arvada West in just a shootout. That was a great football game. Sims, the lone man to return the kick, fields it up to 6, brings it across the 20, and is finally brought down at about the 24-yard line. 18-yard kickoff return there for Matt Sims, and that's where A. West and Danny Bass will set up shot. Bass, backup quarterback for Arvada West, getting some much-needed experience. He is a 6'2", 180-pound sophomore, so pretty good size for a kid who's only, what, 16?
Probably, yes. 16 years old is probably about right, and I think this is good experience because obviously he was probably the quarterback of the future for this team.
Dave probably wishes he could have David Wyatt for another year. I don't know. Dave can do a lot of things, but I don't know if he can pull that off. Bass in the shotgun, hands it off to number 25. He's wrapped up the number 77 on a short gain. Running the ball there for the Wildcats was Dallas Flug. And that's a pickup of about 3 for Dallas.
25
Starting to run out of room on the stat sheet.
Second down and 8.
That's a criminal. In on that tackle is Jeff Olson, 6'7", 270-pound senior. That's a big boy. Second down and 7. Little option. There's Flug. Nowhere to run is Forsyth, Zimmerman, and Cabral in on the tackle. Loss of about a yard for Dallas. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8. Still, Stanley Lake only in this football game, according to my count, 4 first downs. That's a hell of a defensive effort by the Wildcats.
It is, you know, and it's like you wonder how they got 17 points on the board. You got to realize that 2 of their possessions came near the goal line, and that they had 1 pass. It was around 30 yards for a touchdown.
Bass on 3rd down, throws it down the middle of the field to Danny Brown. He can't hang on, popped by Bauman. Second time Bauman's been able to put a lick on a player. That's going to bring up 4th and 8. Bass 0 of 2 tonight. Remember, he stood in there, threw the ball downfield, and put a little zip on it. kind of hung his receiver out to dry a little bit. Brown kind of short-armed that pass. I'm sure Dave will pull Danny in the offseason and show him some of those old Cleveland Brown videos where Dave just sacrificed his body, for every ball.
Timeout, Arvada West.
Yeah. See this?
That was a smart play. Actually, what was I during the Sports Talk radio show that I produced during the day? We had ESPN or ESPN2 up on the TV, and they must have just been. We can't listen to it because the volume's down, but they had some old Cleveland Brown highlights, and they had an interview with Dave. I mean, it must have been, I don't know how long ago, but
one of those.
Yeah, it was 15. I mean, it was a long time ago.
The hairstyle's a little different.
Yeah,
and,
Dave had a big mustache going, some lamb chops coming down the sides. Showed him making a one-handed, left-handed catch for a touchdown.
4th down and 8. Number 2, Darren.
So, I remember Dave as a player, but I don't remember him that well. I mean, I knew the name, knew he played for the Browns and a little bit for the Broncos at the end of his career, but I couldn't remember watching him play. Good kick there by the A-West punter. It's not Mike Duran. Cavell puts on a move and has a little bit of a running room, sheds a tackler, cuts inside, and is going to be tackled close to midfield. Putting the ball there for the Wildcats, Brandon Kyle. Nice return by Cavell.
Yeah, Cavell probably would have look a bit more, but it seemed like as he was cutting back, he kind of confused his own blockers and ran into one of them and fell down. But nevertheless, Cavell has been so much of the offense.
Stanley Lake 48, 1st and 10. Stanley
In
Lake.
fact, he was just one name we mentioned over any on something. He has to everything.
He's punter, he's on defense, carries the ball on offense. Hey, he had a great run on that fake punt there in the second quarter. See an odd sight here on the Arvada West stands. A kid wearing an Arvada football jersey, about a 10-year-old kid. He'll get passed up the student section if he continues with that. And there, Justin Bishop has nowhere to run. Rob Morellas does the Neil Smith Gravedigger thing as he's in on the sack, and that's a loss of about 12 yards in the play. Bishop, 2 carries for negative 18 yards tonight. Tell you what, Morellas really has put together. We talked about how well David Wyatt's played the last couple weeks. Rob Morellas has played probably as well on defense.
Yeah, he started early tonight. I remember the first couple of plays we mentioned his name in on stops against the Stanley Lake offense, and then just kept on playing the entire game through.
He's a lone starter out there on defense, I think, right now. And there's a little draw play up the middle. That's going to pick up close to 5. Mike Raines on the run for the Gators. 8 carries, 14 yards tonight for Mike. Brings up 3rd. Actually, that's a gain of about 7, isn't it? That's all. 16 yards tonight for Mike, and that brings up about 3rd down and call it 16. Bishop under center. He's got a full house backfield behind him. Might have been motion in the backfield. Bishop looks down the field, was throwing the ball for his tight end, Mike Jones. Little miscommunication there. Jones was open. Like I said, a little miscommunication. The pass falls incomplete.
Number 10, Bishop, is
Top
completed.
Dan.
4th down
Oh, that's a tough
and
cycle
16.
to go with.
Number 9 for the Gators. And Adam Campbell is back to receive this punt along with Caleb Atchison for the Wildcats. Keith Cavell once again doing the duties for the Gators. 8:30 left here in the 4th quarter. Near block, it forces Cavell to alter his punt. It's high, but gets a Stanley Lake bounce inside the Arvada West 25 down to the 24. And I'll tell you what, Cavell did a nice job there because that punt may have been blocked. He altered the angle, didn't get off a good kick, but it got a good roll.
Got a good roll and kicked about a mile high.
Those are always dangerous. The ball bounces. You got like players all over the place. One awkward bounce from Pigskin. Who knows if it's going to hit? First down 10 for Arvada West. Danny Bass in at quarterback, 6'2", 180-pound sophomore. We anticipate will be the starting quarterback next year for the Wildcats. Pitches it to Dotero. He shows a little speed around the left end. And that's a pickup of 6. He is eventually tackled by Eric Geist.
Joe Dotero getting a rare carry for the offense here.
2 carries, 13 yards for Joe tonight. Takes it out across the 30. Showed a little speed there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Lucas Wathier coming out for Arvada West. Got Gutierrez split right, Danny Brown split left, and Dotero and Iwi in the backfield, along with Vase. There's a pitch to Dotero, and pursuit from the inside, can't catch him. He picks up a first down. Nice tackle by Bauman, but not until Dotero picks up about 11 yards.
Dotero looks like a good natural back. Puts the shoulder down, lays it into Bauman on that play there.
Well, outside of 25 yards rushing by Brandon Kyle, Dotero in 3 carries has 24 yards. He's vying to become the Wildcats' leading rusher tonight. Now, that's not saying a whole lot, but he's only had 3 carries for 24 yards. You can live with that. That's what, 8 yards a carry?
Absolutely.
Wow. I'm pretty good with the baskets. Yeah, I've never been known for that. Out ball at 42. In the I formation are the Wildcats. Hand off to Iwi, and he stretches it forward across the 45 to the 46. Gain of 4. Nice hard running by the fullback. Zach, 5'10", 200-pound senior.
Clock now under 6 minutes, 50 seconds to go here.
Second down and 6. There's Iwi again, and he tries to shed a tackler initially, can't. Forward progress gives him a yard, brings up 3rd and 3. In on the tackle, Mickey Richter, a 6'3", 250-pound senior. Arvada West offensive line is not huge. 195, 205, 200, 260, 200. Abe Lee goes 240. But, Stanley Lake's got some size. 200, 250, 230, 200. Sometimes they bring in big old number 77. I think he goes 270. But the Arvada West offensive line has done a good job of keeping those guys out of the backfield. As I say that, Belt barreling down on base. Base knocked to the turf, no flag. His pass is incomplete, and that brings up 4th down. I was calling Brown Danny Brown. My apologies, it's Jason Brown. It's Danny Bass in at quarterback. My apologies to the Brown family if they're watching this. As Bass is 0 for 3 tonight in a backup role. 5:54 remaining in the 4th. 42-17 Arvada West. Staring down its 4th of victory this season, even their record at 4-4 if this game turns out like it should.
Penalty marker prior to the snap.
Got a flag, probably either illegal movement or delay a game. Well, start one of the 2 or 3 or 4. I'd get it right eventually.
Actually, that's going to work in Arvada West's favor because that snap was very poor. In fact, the punter, Mike Duran, did not field it well. So they have no chance to do this the correct way.
Capel standing at his 20. Pretty good punt by Duran. Doesn't get the tight spiral, but good enough. Capel catches it and is popped. What a tackle on special teams. Danny Schwab, 6'4", 200-pound junior with the tackle, and that's about the 2nd or 3rd time we've called his name.
Yeah, Danny Schwab.
Stop the beat by number 86, Schwab.
To Bill there, was too loud of his own. Take the ball upfield, but Kyle's really good. That's good midfield work.
First down 10 for the Gators. They have the ball at their own 31-yard line. Marcus Jamsey still at quarterback for Stanley Lake. He and Justin Bishop have been splitting time. And Montoya with some running room, and that's the most running room a Gator running backs had all night. There was a flag on the play. Montoya picks up about 8.
21, Montoya carrying.
Eric Montoya, 5'10", 165-pound junior. Let's see who the penalty is. It's on Arvada West. Face mask, I believe.
I believe it was. They had a pretty good stiff arm on Shane Marsh. And Marsh
moves the ball to the Stanley Lake 44, 1st and 10.
5 penalty nights, 55 yards for Arvada West. They struggled early on, committed 3 or 4 penalties quick in the football game, but they've settled down since then and played a pretty clean game. One of the cleaner games they've played in the last few weeks.
I was going to say they've really not put themselves in a hole by committing stupid penalties.
First down of the second half for Stanley Lake, and there is the second first down as Montoya rumbles for about 13.
21, Montoya carrying.
Montoya 6 carries for 25 yards, padding his stats here in the fourth quarter. And Stanley Lake has the ball now at the Arvada West 43-yard line. That T formation again invoked by the Gators, and Montoya this time dropped for a loss, quickly a loss of 2.
Next week for Arvada West, is it Arvada, I believe?
Yeah, they play Arvada.
Number 21, Montoya, the ball carrier. Defense play for
between the Reds and the Wildcats.
Arvada West,
formerly the Redskins.
Number 52,
fell into that politically incorrect trap, I believe.
Second down and 12.
Did they really? Yeah, it's been a few years. Second and 12 for Stanley Lake. Jamsey up the middle to Montoya. Some running room. Close to a first down. We're going to give it to him. 13-yard pickup for Montoya to about the 32-yard line of Arvada West.
Picks up the 1st and 10 for
So another first down.
Stanley Lake.
First downs on 3 plays for Stanley Lake when they haven't been able to get any first downs the entire second half.
Arvada West
Again, we'll temper this by saying it is the first team offense for the Gators going against the second team defense for Arvada West. Still a number of fans hanging out, waiting for the end of this football game. Jamsey back to pass. A lot of pressure from the backside. There's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Wildcats. In on that play, making the sack, Joe Clark, 6'1", 185-pound senior. You saw that coming all the way, too.
Yeah, you did.
By number 51, Sanchez.
51, Sanchez on the recovery.
Arvada West, ball at the 50-yard line.
You know, I'm not sure if I want to say that was Jared Sanchez or not, because he doesn't have his name on his jersey. And I'm wondering if maybe they have 2 51s.
Possibly.
But, I could be wrong. That is Joe DeTero being thrown for about a 1-yard loss. Eric Geist in on the tackle.
DeTero carried. Stop made by 63, Wilcox. Second down and 11.
However, I don't see another 51 out there, so quite possibly that could be Ryan Palmer and a few guys have the water bucket out. They're going to douse someone with water, and they get Mike Durrett.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Mike. Got a little run to the right side, and it goes nowhere, and DeTero is hit hard by Adam Zimmerman, and DeTero appears to be hurt. Let's hope it's not serious.
The guy who deserves it, Mike Duran. If you're going to give a player the game, it would be tough because both players have had such a great game. I love the fact that Mike Duran, he's my sentimental choice. He comes back from tough injury early on this year and gets 3 touchdown passes and over 100 yards receiving. Great game for him. He deserves the water bucket.
Yeah, that was nice to have guys like Ryan Palmer and Kip Rule and those guys douse him with water. He was cold, too. He went running out on the field and knew he might get a 12-minute on the field penalty and came back. But, yeah, Mike Duran's had a great night tonight. And
Now he might have
Now
to
he's
go
trying to
out
get away from his teammates. Again, Duran, 10 catches, 50 yards, 3 touchdowns. Never ran the ball today, strictly a receiver tonight. And, you know, an interesting thing this brings up, maybe I'll get a chance to try to talk to Dave next week before the Arvada game. I'd like to ask him this, is the way Duran has looked tonight. It seems strange to me that he wouldn't have played at all last week. Now, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if the doctor said, hey, he definitely can't play. It's an extra precaution. I don't know. But the way he looks tonight, this doesn't look like a guy who's just recently come off an injury. I mean, looks like he's in midseason form.
It doesn't. And that would be a good question to ask because last week's game, as you mentioned, was so important.
I mean, that was a must-win.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember talking to Andy Lowry, the Columbine coach, and he told me that he expected Duran to be back. I remember I told you that before the game.
Right.
Duran wasn't in uniform. And so I figured, he's at least out for a couple more weeks. But then we saw tonight that he was in uniform. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't look like a guy who's just coming off an injury, man. He's been wonderful tonight, as has a lot of the players on the A-West team. I mean, it's been a total team effort tonight for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
And there you see Joe Taro being helped off the field. Appears to be some kind of injury to his right leg. 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. He's going to leave the game. 5 carries for 23 yards. And we talked about his quickness. This is a sophomore who looks like he has a lot of promise. A-West has been known for their speed the last couple of years, and this is a guy I think Dave probably is counting on to keep that tradition going strong. Dallas Flug, I would anticipate, would be in the backfield now with Danny Bass. They're going to set Joe down here on the bench and see if we can find out what they're working on. I'm going to guess it's an ankle, but, so hard to tell. 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats. Bob Gutierrez split way right. We got Jason Brown on the left. Bass fakes a handoff under a lot of pressure, throws, passes broken up. We have a penalty flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. And
there was some sort of mess between 70 for Stanley Lake, Mickey Richter, and 55 Arvada West.
We got illegal block by the Wildcats. Pass was incomplete. Stanley Lake will decline the penalty. That means they're going to get another shot at the football.
Illegal block, Arvada West. Penalties declined to be 4th down and 11.
2:16 remaining here in the football game. Mike Duran back to punt for the Wildcats. Let's see how he handles the duties after being doused with the cold Gatorade. Good snap, and an end-over-end kick. Cavell will field it at his 15. Brings it up the right side, breaks some tackles, and has some running room. Face mask brought down, hogtied by Zach Iwi at about the 43-yard line, but you're going to tack on 5 or 15 after an obvious face mask. Nice tackle there by Iwi. We've had some rough tackles. You notice that? A lot of guys going high.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This has been a typical Jeffco League black and blue division game. It's going to be a 15-yarder. It's going to take the ball all the way down to the Arvada West 40. 6 penalties, 70 yards tonight for the Wildcats.
40-yard line, 1st and 10, Stanley Lake.
Marcus Jamsey in at quarterback. Stanley Lake. 1:58 remaining in the football game. Jamsey hands it off to Raines. Raines has a lot of running room. That's a first down and a pickup of 13 for Mike Raines. His best carry of the night.
Again, most of these yards coming in
Late.
late.
Well, they had no first downs in the second half, or in the third quarter. Only 4 in the game up until these last 2 series.
One would believe the Arvada West starting offense was on the field, defense even was on the field. That
It'd be more of the same.
yeah.
Jamsey back to pass. Nowhere to go. Avoids the pressure. Throws it to Cavell. Makes a cut. Has some blockers and takes it inside the 20. That's going to be a pickup of 11. Nice improvisation there by the Gators.
Drop made by number 48, Digby.
Well, that's his first catch of the night for 11 yards and another Stanley Lake first down. 5 here now in the second half, 9 in the game, and Stanley Lake looking to put a meaningless touchdown here on the board late. Minute 20 remaining in the football game. Jamsey, that's Raines, trying to break a tackle, can't. Nice tackle there by Keith Everhard. And Raines about to pick up a 2.
Second down and 9.
Keith, a 5'10", 170-pound senior.
For a lot of these kids playing defense right now, their first chance at action in quite a while because Arvada West has been in so many close games in recent past. Memory that the first team guys have been on the field.
Again, Jamsey avoids the pressure. He's got some running room and takes it inside the 5, or takes it to about the 5, I guess. Pickup of 10 for Jamsey and another first down. And he got out of bounds, so the clock stops as the chains move as well. 37 seconds left in the game, and finally a few of the A West faithful packing up and trying to beat the traffic. First and goal, ball at about the 5-yard line. Stanley Lake threatening to put a final touchdown up on the board in this football game. Jamsey under center. Back to pass, looks to his right, throws it, pass, looked to be caught. Big hit over there on the right side by Gianfranco Pacello, I should say. And that's an incomplete pass.
Another one of those big hits that you were just talking about, Eric.
4 of 12 tonight for Jamsey, only 99 yards. Brings up second down, clock stops, 31 seconds remaining. Brian Burnham should have caught the football, but he bobbled it, and by the time he was ready to regain control of the football, that's when Pacello put the big hit on him. Little screen pass to Cavell, read well by the Wildcats. He turns it inside and gets close to the end zone, but we have a host of flags in on the play. Probably a hold, unless there was a face mask. Matt Coomans coming into the game for Arvada West, number 31. Jim Sterling coming out. Got a face mask on Arvada West. That's a pickup of about 4 on the play for the Gators. And it's Cavell's second catch. Got 15 yards receiving tonight. Rushing the ball, he's got 42 yards. But he's got about 50 yards in personal fouls. So it's second and goal from probably inside the 1, 11 seconds remaining. Jamsey follows his big offensive line, and he puts 6 on the board for the Gators. And again, a meaningless touchdown with 7 seconds left in the game, and that cuts our Arvada West lead to 42-23.
Yeah, on the stat page, it's going to be probably go down as a 18-point defeat most likely. However, this game really seemed to be more out of reach than that.
It was 42-10 with 2:07 left in the third, so you're absolutely correct. Got a new place kicker in the game for Stanley Lake. He is Derek Popjoy. Kick is up and not nearly as far as Paulette Jones, but it is good. 42-24 our score. Arvada West with an 18-point lead, and there are only 7 ticks of the clock remaining. Again, I think it's safe to say our player of the game, Mike Duran, returning for the first time this year after breaking his collarbone against Mullen in week 2. all the senior does is catch 10 passes for 150 yards, and he scored 3 times, and he gave this team an emotional lift and got them off the schneid, stopping a 3-game losing streak as Arvada West is 7 seconds away from evening up its record at 4-4. They will improve to 2-2 in the Jeffco Conference, and as you mentioned, they take on Arvada next week. That game will be on Friday, October 29th at 7:30 right here at Jeffco Field. Arvada, a team that lost to Stanley Lake just the other week, 39-26.
Could be
So a chance for Arvada West. Maybe they put a couple back-to-back victories on the board. That's Kyle picking up the kick and returning it out to about the 35-yard line. Nice return there by Brandon.
It seems like the officials could just let that last second tick off. However,
1 second remaining.
make Danny Bass take a knee.
I don't see Danny. Yep, there he comes. Nope, Danny's coming out on the field. 17's Jason Brown. He looked like a quarterback over here on the sidelines.
Yeah.
He's tall and lanky. Actually, he's listed as a quarterback. 6'3", 180-pound sophomore. Trying him out a little wide receiver. And Vase takes a knee, and that's all she wrote. The Arvada West Wildcats on the strength of a wonderful game by Mike Duran, Dave Wyatt, and an awfully strong defensive effort. Get the win, 42-24. As you mentioned, they're 4-4 now in the year, 2-2 in the Jeffco Conference. Final thoughts, Mike?